All right. There we go. All right. Things were muted. Now they're not, I think. I think I fixed it. You forget to click one button. You have an awkward transition. It's fine. Anyway, hello. God, what episode number? You see, I set up and then I forgot what episode number this is. So, oh well. Like 182, I
I
think.
have the tally somewhere.
Yeah, just like on my wall, like a jail cell. Just cross up every week I do this.
Right,
That
yeah.
Not that I'd be able to count all that quickly anyway at this
Mhm.
point. I think 182 is the correct number, which yeah, that's a lot. Anyway, um but people will keep watching, so I guess I'll keep doing it. I mean, that's
Sounds
all that
alright.
that's all that matters. Anyway, uh enough about me and my lack of being able to do proper intros. Who are you?
Hello there, I'm Shenanagans, I run Pokemon games primarily, stream
Yes,
some other stuff here and there.
I am very unknowledgeable about the Pokemon speedrunning scene, so it's time to
Mhm.
learn.
Yeah, yeah.
I've learned a few things here and there, but I believe you've been doing this for quite a while now.
Yeah, I did my first speedruns, I think it was, like, 2011, 2012. I started with, Halo individual levels, like,
Mm,
way, way back, and then I started running Pokemon in 2013, and that's been primarily what I've ran ever since.
yeah. Luckily, there's a lot of content there to milk, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Plenty of different runs, and we have a lot of categories too, so
Yep, so obviously doesn't get old, so been doing
yeah,
it
yeah.
for 13 years now then, huh?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's a good amount of time, almost double the length well, no, not quite. 1.5 times the amount I've been around, so there you
Jeez,
go.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah, it's
well,
funny always seeing I hang on my, like, GDQ badges, it's funny
mm,
seeing, like, all the how many years I've been doing it at this point.
yeah, do you have the ball on like one hook? That's what I do.
Yeah, hold on here, I can move my webcam. Um,
Oh, I
just
see.
showing it. Yeah, I got them all up here. So there's
That's sick, actually.
2014 all the way here's the last one.
Damn.
Hanging there at the edge.
Yeah,
I haven't been to every event, but
mine are all on just one hook. That nail is doing work because I have like
oh, that's sick.
30 badges at this point. Although they're not all GDQ, but
Right, yeah.
but
Yeah, I have a
yeah.
couple non-GDQ in there.
Yeah. I've been to 11 events now. So 11 of them are GDQ. So maybe I have more like 25, but
Mhm.
I'm surprised they all stay where they are, but it's fun. It's fun to collect badges. You know, it's kind of like Pokemon
Yeah.
cards, right?
A little bit. I
I'm
haven't
just trying to tie it back.
yeah, yeah. I don't actually collect the cards at all. I collected them when I was a kid. Oh, this is awesome. Hold on, let me,
Ooh,
for
show and
this.
tell
Let me show
time.
you something really fun.
Oh boy.
So, well, here's first off, here's the Pokemon binder. You can see it's got some wear, just a little bit of wear from when I was a child. Um, so I did have a Charizard when I was a kid, right? And so what would you do if you had a Charizard card as a child? You would take it to school, right?
hmm Oh
Can you?
no.
I folded it and put it in my pocket. It would appear multiple times.
That's not gonna get a high grade.
Yeah, I want to submit it and see if I can get a 0. I think it'd be pretty sick.
uh, doesn't it
That's the
cost like a
bulk of my
shit ton of
collecting, though.
money or something?
I have no clue. I assume it does.
I've heard so many things about the whole grading thing being a huge scam, so
Yeah,
I've never really cared, but
yeah, that wouldn't shock me. I'm sure there's some shade to it.
but yeah, speaking of things I also have no clue about any sort of card game at all. Just I have no knowledge of, but I just know they exist. And there's a lot of Pokemon cards out there and a lot of people that'll do anything to get them. So,
Yeah, fair. I
That
played, they have the app, PCG Pocket.
mm,
That's fun to play here and there, and the card game's easy on that because it's all digital, so you don't have to purchase a bunch of cards and, like, build decks.
yeah, I've seen
So,
a lot
that
of
was
people
fun for a
use
bit.
that. A good
Yeah.
alternative to the quite literally bloodthirsty world of Pokemon trading cards.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the
It's
scalping
wild
on
stuff.
it's crazy. That's all I really know about Pokemon TCG, is, like, how bad the scalping's gotten.
Yeah, but
It's just
that's
so
why
hard
we
to get
play
any product.
video games.
True. Until
So,
the scalpers figure out a way into that market.
no, 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 no. Don't entice them. Stay away.
Imagine Pokemon only releases, like like if Pokopia came out, the new Pokemon game, and there was only, like, 10,000 copies, like, how scalped that would
Oh
get
my god.
immediately.
Worst decision ever. Eh.
Yeah.
What someone would, you know, post it available for everyone in some way if that happened.
Right,
So
yeah. And then get in big trouble.
probably, but I mean, at that point, that's like the dumbest idea they could possibly do. So, but not that they would
Yeah.
ever do that, but in this hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, to not stray too far off topic, uh, so you in speedrunning,
Mhm.
how did you discover the world and start?
Um, I think I started there was, like, some Halo ILs, like, competition way, way back, and I had heard about it, so I, like, looked into doing, like, Halo speedruns, like, way, way back in the day, and then from there, I eventually found and watched the, classic GDQs. I think that was, like, 2010, 2011, and then I started doing, like, real speedruns back in, like, late 2012, early 2013. Eventually landed on Pokemon because those are kind of the games I enjoyed the most growing up. Um, and then started going to GDQ around 2014, and then just been part of the speedrun community ever since.
So you went really early on.
Yeah, I knew about speedruns back when I was in like high school, like probably like sophomore year, junior year, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I discovered the scene the summer after I graduated high school. That was 2017. So
Okay,
dating myself specifically.
yeah. Yeah, I've got like 5 years on you or something.
Well, that's what's nice about speedrunning. I know like 10-year-olds who do it. I know like 50-year-olds who do it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
truly anyone can do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so do you remember your first Pokemon run?
Yeah, I started with gold.
Ooh,
Yeah, gold was definitely the first game. I don't remember like what my times were or anything back then. I definitely wasn't near world record level when I was running gold. Um, and then eventually I switched over to doing glitched Gen 1 categories. We had a nice little community for those. So that would have been no save corruptions at first, and then eventually the catch 'em alls. Catch 'em all kind of started around that time, like 2015 ish. Um, so that was how I started out, and then more recently I've been running Switch games, uh, and a little bit of Gen 1, but mostly the Switch titles nowadays.
mhm. So, just to give you an idea of my personal Pokemon experience, I've beaten Heart Gold. I
Good game.
yeah, I've done half of these are like 15 years ago. So,
Right, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I beat Heart Gold. I played half of Platinum. I think I beat Black. And I played like an hour of X and an hour of Sword. So that's my Pokemon experience for you.
Fair enough.
So I'm very inexperienced in like the Game Boy titles. I know Gen 1 was Game Boy, Gen 2 was Game Boy Color, and then Gen 3 was Game
Yep.
Boy Advance. I didn't
Mhm.
pick it up until DS, which was Gen 4.
Right, yeah, makes sense.
So I know they're a lot more primitive. Like I get the idea of the story behind Gold, since Heart Gold kind of steals it for the
Yeah.
most part, but obviously the game mechanically works completely differently. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so that, yeah, even on the Game Boy version, it had all of Gen 1 attached to it too, right? Like the warp
What do you mean?
canto, like
Oh, yeah, the Gen 2 games you could go to Kanto, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, because I know Heart Gold, like you beat
Mhm.
the Elite Four or whatever, and it's like surprise, that's half the game. I didn't know if
Yeah.
Gold did that too, but
Yeah.
okay,
It's a very watered down version of Kanto, but it does exist.
okay. Is that part like? Do you have to play that for the speed run too? Like, what is the any percent cutoff?
Yeah, so, I don't know exactly how we do the Gen 2 categories. I know there's a category that just beats Lance because that reaches the credits.
Hmm.
Um, but like quote unquote real any percent, you go all the way to red, which requires doing the whole Kanto split.
Okay.
Kanto is pretty fast though in both Heart Gold and Gen 2 because I think getting to the credits is like 2 hours and like almost 2.5 hours, and then it's maybe 45 minutes to do Kanto plus red.
Oh wow.
Um,
Yeah, that's
because
significantly shorter.
it's kind of just boss rush because there's not much plot, so you
Mm,
do the boat ride to get into Kanto, and then four of the gyms you can just go straight to and do them. You do the little section with like the power plant to get the magnet train running, and then the other four gyms are just available after that.
okay.
So it's one tiny quest, and then it's just 8 bosses basically, and then red.
So like any beat Lance run, you can turn it into just any percent to red.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case, which is I think that's why people initially didn't want to add it as a category was like
Mm,
whoever gets the any percent record just gonna also get the beat Lance record.
I
Um,
see.
but it's kind of nice to have like a shorter category for people who can't do like a 3.5 hour run.
Hmm.
Like two, I think it's like 2.5, save like an hour.
Yeah, I could definitely see at least a category extension, and it definitely sounds like a better, race category for SRL back in the day or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, because when we did, we would do like randomizer races way back, and I think we stopped at Lance a lot of the time. We'd kind of just vibe out like, hey, how long do we have? Do we have 2 hours or 3 hours? Okay, if we have 2 hours, let's just do a Lance run. If we have 3 hours, we'll go to red.
Hmm. And so when you started, since you started with gold, did you start with glitchless?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was no glitched back then.
Oh, okay.
We didn't know about any of that back in the day.
So
So yeah, it was only glitchless.
wow, so the game had no like useful glitches for a while then.
Yeah, so when I started, the only we knew how to duplicate Pokemon, but that's obviously not useful for speedrunning because
Mhm.
we just have the one Pokemon anyway. We want to pump all of our XP into it. Uh, so we never did the duping, and then over time we found like obviously we found like more and more glitches. So I remember when was it? I think it was 2014 or 2015 we found I always call it the funky Kellers route because it would make the game's Kellers like rainbow and all that. Um we found a way like you duplicate your party in a certain way that you get 30 Pokemon in your team. And the game obviously can't handle having like party overflow. So whenever you initiate a battle, the battle instantly ends. And then when you flash your party, it corrupts the overworld map. So you could corrupt the overworld map to like go to areas that you shouldn't have access to yet.
Hmm.
So that first route, it was like get to the daycare because that's where you could do the duping glitch. You would dupe the 30 Pokemon and get the corruption. And then you can't access the magnet train, which is you remember the train that
Yeah.
takes you between. You have to do all this stuff in Kanto before you unlock it. But if you corrupt the map inside the magnet train's location, you can just walk onto the train because
Oh.
you would corrupt the map so the walls go away and you could just walk right over to the train. So you would get into Kanto that way.
Hmm.
You would corrupt the map a bunch of times to get to like Victory Road, and then you would beat the Elite Four, and then do it again and beat Red. Was the route. So it's pretty slow because we kind of only had two glitches at our disposal. It was like we can corrupt the map and we instantly win any fight we do. But we still had to like walk all the way to Goldenrod, like do the run up to Goldenrod, and then uh, get the glitch set up, which took like 20 minutes, and then do all the corruption and do it twice because you have to beat the Elite Four to get Red to spawn in, and then walk all the way back to Red to beat Red. So it was like a really long run of like a bunch of walking and
Hmm.
uh, yeah, and eventually like getting to the Red fight and doing it. I think those runs were like 2 hours long, so they're barely faster than any percent, only like an hour saved, but um,
Wow.
those are like the first glitches. And then since then, we find more and more. So
Mhm.
I think it was Sankey who found the coin case bug. So if you click use on the coin case, so every you know how like every item has like use, toss, and then like back out of the menu or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
The coin case, if you click use, you can activate arbitrary code execution just by clicking use on the coin case.
Okay.
It's just like this the buggiest item to ever exist. I don't know exactly how it works, but all you do is you write a bunch of like arbitrary code in the boxes so you can name your boxes. So you name one box like uh, mash keyboard basically. Like there's very
Mhm.
specific names, but like you name them all. That's just like jumbled text. You name all your boxes. Um and then you need a Pokemon with like specific stats, DVs, Pokemon have random stats, specific numbers in the stats, and like different amounts work. And then you just use the coin case and it warps you to red. You just warp straight to the end of the game. And it also activates instant victory glitch, so you just talk to him and win. So we found
Oh.
that. And then again, the run is just get to Goldenrod, activate arbitrary code execution, win the game. And those runs were like 45 minutes. And then finally, what we have now is there's a way to just do arbitrary code execution from save corruption. So you just played to the first town where you can get to the PC so that you can name all your boxes, save the game, turn it off on a specific frame, power the game back on, and you're at red and you beat the game in like 6 minutes or whatever. So
Huh.
when I started, we didn't have glitches, and now the category is 6 minutes long. So very very interesting seeing the progression of pretty much all the categories. Like pretty much every game is like that,
Yeah,
except for
that's
Gen
wild.
One. We knew about save corruption in Gen One when I started. I think that's been known for like decades at this point. That was probably found in the 90s, where you could turn. You've probably seen like you turn the game off on a specific frame, you load back in, your party's corrupted, you swap some stuff around, you leave your house, you're at the Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
You've probably seen that run before.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like you beat Pokemon Yellow or Red or Blue in 0 minutes on the in-game timer.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have like done the 0-0 run. Uh, we've known about that for years, but uh, what we did when I like started with Gen One was we did uh, no save corruption. Well, we started with a single segment glitch to ban saving because if you can't save, you can't do save corruption.
Mhm.
We eventually just changed the category to just don't allow save corruption. And that category has also kind of gone through the same progression where it started out like an hour and a half roughly. I think we had to play like all the way to the Safari Zone, which is like an hour in, and then there was a way to activate walk through walls at the Safari Zone, and then you would walk through walls with a really complicated setup. You would basically just get to skip the last four gyms, walk straight to the Elite Four. But I think we did it twice so we could catch Mewtwo, so that we could use Mewtwo for the Elite Four. The route was like kind of weird, and we were beating the game in like an hour and a half, and then we found more and more over the years, and uh, eventually we found item underflow, which is where you you get -1 items, and the game treats negative numbers as very high positive numbers. So -1 item is 255. So you just get 255 items in your bag, but all the slots past 20, which is the normal limit, are slots of memory. So
Hmm.
like you can change your trainer name, you can change your rival name, you can change your ID, you can change how many badges you have, you can change what map you're on, aka, oh, I'm at the end of the game now. So uh, found that, and then ever since then, it's just basically been like a speed run of how do we get item underflow as quickly as possible, because as soon as you gain access to item underflow, you just warp to the end of the game. Um, and finally, I think the route now doesn't even use item underflow because they found another way to do like some trainer corruption that just warps you to the credits. So they found an even faster way to do it now. So that runs also like 10 minutes.
So Pokemon's the game where every game goes from like 3 hours to 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's
Wonderful.
like a more popular games like Ocarina of Time. I feel like everyone's kind of seen the progression of that game where like, it starts out at like 2 hours and they find a bit more, and then they find a bit more, and then they find a bit more. And you just keep finding little things, and like now what's Ocarina of Time? It's like 8 minutes, I think, 7 minutes.
I think it's like 3 minutes.
Oh, is it real? Okay,
I'm
it's
pretty
even
sure.
faster than
Yeah.
I remember. There
Oh,
must have been a new thing, and I didn't see the newest thing.
yeah. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think they stopped timing the intro. I think that was part of it.
Oh,
Because the
okay,
intro
okay,
is like
okay.
4 minutes long.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. Well, I'll be honest, never played that game. Didn't realize it
Same,
had a
yeah.
huge intro. Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of those games kind of had long intros.
Hmm.
That was kind of like always the thing.
Yeah, the
I
era
remember
of unskippable
Sunshine.
intros. Yeah, Sunshine.
Yeah. All the popular games had like a 5 minute unskippable cutscene at the start.
Yeah, the only one I deal with is SM64, which is barely anything, just like what 50 seconds. Oh well.
Yeah.
Kind of need a
Yeah,
break, honestly, between runs.
my current speedrun of choice, Legends Arceus. The first 24 minutes of the game, you have control of your character for a minute and 5 seconds, roughly.
What?
So horrendous, horrendous beginning, but it's a really cool run once you get past the intro. Just
Like
it is a movie.
you have to wait like 20 minutes.
It's like 20, yeah, because you start the game, you're mashing through text boxes. You walk up, you interact with the starter Pokemon. It takes like 20 seconds. After that, there's a 5 minute cutscene. After that, you walk to your house, which is a 6 second walk. After that is a 2 minute cutscene. Then you pick your starter. You do a battle, which I consider a cutscene because you mash the A button because
Hmm.
you only have one move, so you don't have any choice. You're just mashing quick attack.
Mhm.
You do a little catching tutorial, and then another 5 minute cutscene, and then a 2 minute cutscene, and then you kind of gain access to the game at that point.
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is I said there's only a minute of gameplay, but within that minute of gameplay, like someone experienced versus someone who's doing their first run probably saves like a minute and a half over that person because of how much like weird tech there is with how you do like movement and stuff in the game.
Hmm.
So it's really interesting like how much time you can save and lose. And there's like little tricks and stuff too. Um so at least like when you have like little snippets of gameplay, it's not like you're just not doing anything, but it does suck having to watch the intro over and over.
Yeah,
Definitely
like
the longest intro I know of.
yeah, that's a bit absurd. How long's
Yeah,
the
I remember.
run in total?
Any percent's 3.5, 333. I think's the record.
Okay. So at least you get
Catch
to
'em
play
all
for a
is
while.
yeah. The two categories I do, catch 'em all is a bit over 7 hours, and shiny charms a bit over 10. Um, shiny charms like basically hundo, and catch 'em all is like hundo light,
Until
basically.
like, all right.
Yeah, very very RNG categories though. They probably have like the most variance of like any speedrun, I would imagine. I don't think there's very many games that have as much variance.
I was gonna say, when people say like RNG speedruns, my mind goes to Pokemon.
Yeah. There's RNG runs, and then there's like kind of like calculated RNG runs. I feel like most Pokemon runs, like you can calculate your odds of like getting the time you're going for. So like I remember like with Pokemon Red when I was like going for PB attempts, it was like, okay, what route do I want to do? And then you would kind of just like pick what strats you want, and then like you add amounts of risk. So like, oh, this is 18% to kill my run, but it saves 25 seconds. So if I add that in, 18% more runs die. This other strat would kill 50% of my runs, but save a minute. So it's like which strat do I want to add in? And like maybe one run is behind due to like other luck factors. It's like, okay, I'll take this risk.
Hmm.
Um, so it feels kind of like calculated a lot of the games. Um, Other games are like kind of pure, like the catch 'em all run in Legends Arceus, for example. Um, you have to get like certain Pokemon, and you may just get extremely unlucky and never get them.
Hmm.
Uh, so like most Pokemon games, you can kind of like pick your luck in a way, so you can choose how much risk you want to take.
But for the Arceus run, like you don't choose. It's just you have to roll all these dice no
Yeah,
matter what.
exactly.
Okay.
So like the biggest thing with Legends Arceus runs is the space time distortions. Whenever you enter a map, the game picks a random time before it spawns one. It's either 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, or 40 minutes.
Hmm.
Uh, So, for example, in Fieldlands, you only have to spend like 6 total minutes on the map. If you get a 40-minute distortion, you lose 34 minutes. And that
Hmm.
happens 25% of runs, and that's 5 hours in. So you play for 5 hours, and there's a 25% chance you lose half an hour. Um,
It's the worst frame rules I've ever heard.
yeah, it's like it is very similar to frame rules, except I'm sure you have fun with the buses analogy. The buses
Yeah,
leave at 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and 40 minutes, and
you don't know which
uh,
one's in service right now.
well, you only have a ticket for the 5 and the 10 minute. All the other ones are too slow. You just have to hit the reset
Oh,
button.
fair, fair.
We're back to that 24-minute intro I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm good. This sounds like everything
Yeah,
I despise.
yeah, yeah. It's like I think it's the most. It's like probably the most interesting Pokemon run. I always call it like it's the best sandwich you ever had that has moldy bread. The beginning and the end are like awful, like because of all the cutscenes, but the middle is like the best run we probably have in the Pokemon community. At
Mm.
least I think so. If you can just ignore the bread, it's like the best sandwich you'll ever eat.
So, what makes it good in the middle?
It's like really fast paced. There's like a ridiculous amount of decision making. Um, you will never play two of the same run in any category. Uh, like you have to make like constant on the fly decisions and change your routing based off all the like different RNG factors you get. Because the name of the game is the research. I can pull this up and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Can I share this easily? Is the question. Oop, probably breaking everything right now. Here we go. So this is like a research sheet. So
Oh, I
the
don't see
name of the
it.
game. Do you see it now? I think I see it pop up on Discord.
Oh, is it like, do I have to do something?
It may break your whole setup over there trying to.
Yeah, I don't. I just see you
I.
twice now. It's kind of funny, but
That's interesting. I see it on Discord is the weird thing.
maybe I have to like click a button. Oh, wait, now
Yeah,
it.
maybe.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
Yeah, now
Wait,
I can
it's
share my
loading.
screen.
Yay. Okay. I've never
Nice.
had like a presentation before. This is a first.
Yeah. So this is like our research sheet, and the way that the research works is certain tasks that you do in the game give you a certain amount of research. So, for example, Cyndaquil is our starter, right? We're always going to catch one because you're given one. So you can see that's worth 20 total research points on Cyndaquil. It's at 20. Um, and the tasks with the little up arrows to the left of them, so like you see numbers caught with the arrow. I can do this to
Mm,
clear out the clutter a little bit. The ones with the arrow are worth double points. So all tasks are worth 10. The ones with the arrows are worth double, so 20 points. And you get tasks for doing like a certain amount of action. So you can see like times you've seen it use Ember. If you use Ember once, that's 20 points. If you use it twice, that's 20 points again for 40 total. Then it's 4 times, then it's 10 times, then it's 15 times for getting the points for Ember. Whenever you complete a Pokemon, which is getting 100 points in the Pokemon, you get a bonus 100. And that bonus 100 is kind of what dictates the entire game because you basically get double whenever you finish a Pokemon. So the whole game, you're thinking of every Pokemon you're catching, every Pokemon you're interacting with. How do I get it to exactly 100 research so I get that bonus 100? So for Cyndaquil, for example, you catch it because you have to. We're going to use Quick Attack twice against our rival fight. You just have to. And then it's like, okay, we're at 40 research. We're gonna evolve it so that we're at 60. How do I get that last 20 or that last 40 research? And then for Cyndaquil, it's pretty easy. You click Ember twice because it's worth double points. That just seems like the best way to do it. Um, there are very, very rare situations where you might use a fourth quick attack, but do it in an agile style, and then you could use one Ember. Now you've saved an Ember because you had to use the quick attack anyway, you may as well use it agile and then use the ember, and then you've structured the 100 points differently, and then you have to track this for every Pokemon you interact with for the whole game. So that's why like no two runs are the same. So like
hmm.
for example, like Shinx, you're always gonna catch one, you're always gonna evolve one. So you're at 40, and you know you're at 40. You might catch 3 Shinx, that gets you to 60 because catching 3 gets you that extra 20 points. And then you're probably going to use a quick attack. That's going to get you to 80. And it's like, okay, did I get both forms of Shinx? And you have to figure out, like, okay, did I get a male and a female? If I did, I get 10 points for that. I can finish Shinx by just using Bite. If you don't get both forms, Bite would only get you to 90 out of 10, and you're losing 110 research. So it's like, okay, I'm going to use 2 quick attacks instead of a Bite, and then that gets you there. But sometimes you don't get 3 Shinx. Sometimes you only get 1, or sometimes you only get 2. Then all of a sudden you're losing the 20 points there, and it's like, okay, well, now how do I get that extra research on Shinx? Well, I happen to get both forms. That was lucky. I'll do my 3 quick attacks. I guess I could defeat one, or I could try and use a Bite somewhere. And then, like, you're always trying to, like, reroute all your fights to use the moves that you need, because using moves is typically how you, like, get that research. Um, so you're trying to, like, structure all your battles for the whole we're only talking about the first like 2 battles here, where like you're trying to structure the battle around like what you did with Shinx, and then you do the fight a certain way to like get the research solved. So it's just like a constant game of you're trying to like solve all the Pokemon while you play. And what I always say is like kind of interesting. The cutscenes are like uh really important because you use the cutscenes to think, because you don't have time
Hmm.
to think while you're playing because the game's like pretty fast paced. So you play, and then you have like a 3 minute cutscene. It's like, okay, thank God, I'm gonna like watch my VOD back, see what I did, and then you route your next split during the cutscene while you're like watching what you managed to accomplish like on your VOD.
Hmm.
It's like that's why it's like such a complicated game, is you're constantly trying to like route every single segment on the fly because everyone's different.
Sounds complicated. Looks
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, that's why that's my favorite like non-traditional Pokemon run, because it's very interesting from a like a catching slash routing standpoint. It's always like my favorite thing in speedrunning is routing. I've always been more interested in like the routing side.
Hmm.
So it's fun with Legends Arceus because you're always routing. The whole run is about routing and planning.
And you have to route each run as it happens.
Yeah, because you have to make like certain research benchmarks. You need a certain amount of research to like progress through the game. So for example, in Fieldlands, you need 1800 to get out. So as I mentioned, you get 200 points for finishing a Pokemon. You could finish 9 Pokemon and then do nothing else, but that might be slow. So maybe we want to finish 8 Pokemon and then get like 50 research on 4. So then you're getting your 1800 with finishing 8 and then 50, 50, 50, 50. Or maybe like one run, uh, you finish 6, but you have a bunch of Pokemon that are like partially done. So you have like maybe 10 Pokemon that are halfway done. So you're just constantly trying to figure out like what you've accomplished and like how much more research you need to do to get out of the maps and stuff like that.
Hmm. And then for us unfamiliar with the game, what is the research for exactly?
Um, it's kind of like a point system that there's like star ranks within the. You're part of the Galaxy group. They're like kind of in charge of like the main town, Jubilife Village, and within uh, their group, there's different ranks. They're the star ranks. So you start out as a 0 star. Once you get 500 points, you become a 1 star rank. 1800 2 star, 3500 3 star, and so on. Um, that's how the star ranks work. And then each map, you have to be 1 star rank higher to unlock the next map.
Okay.
So when you hit star rank 1, you can access the rest of Obsidian Fieldlands. When you hit star rank 2, you can go to Crimson Mirelands and so on. Each map is the next rank.
So just the in games require progression to beat it,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and you're
Um,
routing how to optimize unlocking the next area.
yeah, and then for
Got it.
Shiny Charm, which is the category I've been working on the most recently, is you have to get that rank 10 on every single Pokemon in the entire game. So then you have to there's like beyond like an
Hmm.
infinite amount of like possible ways you could go about doing that because like the combinations just kind of become endless at that point because there's so many like different interactions you can do between the Pokemon as well. And then obviously the luck comes into play because every Pokemon kind of has like luck tasks. Like a lot of Pokemon, for example, have a task that's like catch a heavy or catch a small or catch a tall, like
Hmm.
different tasks like that. And then those are random. Um, because every time a Pokemon spawns, it spawns like random characteristics. So then reacting to that kind of stuff becomes important.
Okay. And then does the game like tell you if you've maxed a Pokemon for that?
Yeah, like whenever you get like to the end of a whenever you leave a map, you turn in your research to the professor and a screen
Mm,
pops up and you can like go through your whole Pokedex and see like what you've accomplished on each Pokemon.
okay.
So that what we do for speedruns is once we turn in our research, we scroll through it really fast and then we use what's that feature called on OBS? A replay. We use replay buffer to capture us scrolling through the decks at the end, so we can just look at all the tasks we've accomplished and like either mark them down or like
Hmm.
try and memorize what we still need to do for like the next split. So
Wow.
you'll just scroll through everything and like try and quickly memorize what's done and like what still needs done. And that's what the cutscenes are for.
This is like the most complicated speed run I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I That's why I say like it's such a cool run because like it's there's so insanely like much complication to just the routing and the planning and everything. Uh but unfortunately like it starts out really slow and the end is a little bit slow cuz when you get to the very end of the game uh at least for the like shiny charm category, you'll have like, you know, 50 Pokemon. It's a bit less. You have like 30 Pokemon left, and all they have to do is like spam moves.
Hmm.
So you're just sitting there like destroying the wildlife with like
Hmm.
a level 70 Heatran that's clicking like the strongest fire move in the game against some poor Bidoof that didn't ask for this.
Brutal.
So you're kind of just like spamming moves for half an hour at the very end, but the whole middle is like really, really interesting and complicated. And you
Mhm.
never see the end because like your run just again like even like while you're doing all this like ridiculous routing and planning and all of that, those distortions are still looming. So
Hmm.
uh, if you just fail a coin flip, your run's over. You have to hit effectively 4 coin flips in a row to even have a chance at getting a PB. Because any distortion slower than 15 minutes is usually run over. And it's
God.
25% for a 25-minute distortion, and it's 25% for a 40. So you just have to not fail a coin flip. You need to get 4 distortions. So
Oh.
that's usually how the runs end. It's been a pretty long time since I've won all the flips. I've gotten close a couple times recently, but I failed it in the coin flip in Fieldlands 3 times in a row now, and unfortunately that's at the 6 hour mark. So
Oh my god.
you're pretty invested at that point. And then you finally get to Fieldlands. It's like, all right, it's a flip. Here we go. Will we hit it this time?
Okay. How deep into the run are all 4 of them approximately?
The first flip, so in Catch 'em All, it's a little bit worse. Catch 'em All doesn't have to finish the research on every Pokemon. So how I mentioned, uh, they're all like coin flips. That's more
Mhm.
for Catch 'em All. So Catch 'em All
Okay.
has to win a 50% coin flip in Marshlands. That's at about an hour and a half. It has to do it again in Coastlands. That's about 2.5 hours. It has to do it again in Marshlands. That's about 3.5 hours. And it has to do it again in Fieldlands. That's at about 4.5 hours because each map kind of takes about an hour.
God.
Um, and for Catch 'em All, the coin flip in Fieldlands, the one at 4.5 hours, that's more like a 20% or a 36%, depending on how fast you play. So you might play for 4.5 hours and have a 20% chance to finish at that point. Because Fieldlands is just the fastest map. Um, the main thing, one Pokemon Spiritomb requires you to collect 107 wisps. There's 20 per map. They're like scattered all around the map. So you have to collect all 20 wisps per map. So because you're running the whole map, you have at least 5 minutes for that first distortion check. But you usually finish the map well before the 10-minute would spawn. And once they spawn, they take like another 5 minutes to spawn just because of the way the mechanics work. Um, so normally you don't play long enough in Fieldlands for at least a 15-minute distortion to be like viable. Um, but current world record gets a 25-minute in one of the maps. It gets it in Coastlands. So there's 14 minutes of time save there. That's kind of the biggest time loss. And then for Shiny Charm, the same structure. So you're quote unquote flipping a coin, but the first 3 flips are more like 75% because you could take a 25-minute distortion. So you have
Mm.
25% higher odds of getting a survivable one. So uh, it's roughly the same times. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and like 5 or 6 hours, depending on like if you do other stuff. That's when you like see if you get the coin flip you need.
Yeah, I'm good.
We haven't even started talking about all the items you need.
Oh god.
There's like 15 items that are random that you need to evolve Pokemon, and if you don't get all the items, some of them just straight up kill your run. You have to either force them or uh, reset. And then some of them have like a 5 minute quest you can do, but that's too slow a lot of the time. So you just have to get lucky and get all the items. So it's like you need a leaf stone. Your options are it's a 1% from these little leaf piles you can break while you're running around. If you never hit that 1% throughout your run, you got to do a 5 minute quest. Those are your only
Jesus.
two options. So you might have a run that gets all the distortions. You're like, oh my god, I'm finally past the distortion lottery. Where gonna get to see end game, and you look at your board and you're like, wait, I'm missing Sunstone, I'm missing Leafstone, I'm missing Peat Block, I'm missing Black Augerite. That's like 26 minutes of quests. Like, what are we doing here?
So you're just hoping they spawn while you're playing.
Yeah, each item has like a method to get it, and you have to at least give an honest try for all the items. That's like another thing you have to overlap the whole time you're playing. So like you have the research in the background. You're constantly tracking your distortion timer. I didn't even mention like if you have extreme weather, it just deletes your distortion. So if it starts
Hmm.
thunderstorming when your distortion is gonna spawn, it deletes it, puts the timer back to 0, and rolls the lottery again. So you have to constantly be tracking like, okay, I'm coming up on the 5 minute marker. Oh my god, there's a thunderstorm. I need to like enter battle so I can let the thunderstorm pass and pause the distortion timer so that the check doesn't occur while the thunderstorm's active. Um, you're like constantly balancing all kinds of things while you're in the maps, not just the research, but also the items, the distortion timer, the weather. Um, Sometimes even the route. Like you change your route in the maps all the time because like some run might be missing. You might have no stuns. There's like little items that stun Pokemon, and Pokemon have a task to stun them. So it's like, okay, I have to go out of my way to like hit these things to get more stuns because I'm out because I used them all earlier, and I never rolled any from like the luck. Some Pokemon just drop them. Yeah, I could talk. I could talk forever about Legends Arceus if you want. This game, it's like such a cool game.
Yeah, my brain hurts.
Yeah, if you've never seen a run, it's probably like way too complicated. Just like kind of thinking about it, you'd probably have to like see a run or two to kind of understand.
I also have no idea how to remove the stream window now.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure that out, but I kept
Oh,
clicking the wrong things, and I was like, "Oh, great." Anyway, so, and that's like the more that game came out like what, 3 years ago?
uh, I think it was 21 to like
Okay.
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had Scarlet Violet since then, and we've
Hmm.
had ZA. Legend ZA was
That's the most recent.
yeah, that's kind of the most recent game. That game was really fun for a bit, and it died off real fast.
Hmm. Yeah,
Very similar issues to Legends Arceus.
yeah, because Legends is like their new thing because that was
Uh huh.
that and then CA. Okay.
Yeah, the games play like very differently. They're like
Yeah.
extremely not the same games. ZA is pretty cool. Like it has a very battle focus, and it has a cool like battle system. Um, Legends Arceus also has a unique battle system, but it's trash.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of people like the Legends Arceus battle system. Uh, and there's very few battles in Legends Arceus. I think any percent does like 12 battles or something. It's like very very few. Um, ZA, you're doing hundreds because the game's kind of like built on the battles,
Hmm.
and at least the battle system's good. So,
Yeah. I know, the mainline games have like their basic structure that's at least somewhat similar, but yeah, it sounds like the Legends line is like, here's just unique everything
uh huh,
experience.
yeah,
So
they
it's
kind
kind
of
of interesting.
experiment with the Legends games. That's what it feels like. They treat them as like their experimental game.
Hmm. So, and I heard good things about at least the first Legends. I don't know much.
Yeah.
Again, I don't follow Pokemon too closely,
Hmm.
but from what I've
Have
heard,
you played
they like the unique stuff.
Yeah, have you played Breath of the Wild before?
I've beaten the Great Plateau and then never played it again.
Okay. I've never played Breath of the Wild. I've been told they have like a similar vibe where they
Mm,
it's like open world, and you collect like resources to like craft items, and then like you use those items to like, well, in Zelda you'd be like fighting monsters, but in Legends Arceus you're like catching Pokemon.
mhm.
Um
Yeah, it sounds similar. Uh,
yeah, it's
uh,
kind of got like similar vibes.
yeah, also like Hyrule being a more not like Pokemon games usually are like in a modern setting, but Hyrule's very, you know, more primitive and fantasy like,
Mhm.
and I know the first Legends game is like takes place in like the far past, so it's like
Yeah,
primitive in
exactly.
its. So yeah, I can see where the similarities come to play.
Yeah, they probably saw the success with Breath of the Wild and like, oh, let's do that with Pokemon. They accidentally made the masterpiece because the I feel like at like a lot of people, especially people who like doing completionist stuff, if you're like really into like completionist content, Legends Arceus is like the completionist game for Pokemon. It's a crazy grind to complete.
Mm.
Um, like even speedrunning, like if you want to like fully complete everything, like the Pokedex, it's probably like multiple hundreds of hours.
Oh my.
Um, and like casually, I'd put it probably at like 500 hours to 100% the Pokedex because you know how I mentioned like you get the bonus 100 whenever you complete a Pokemon, like you
Hmm.
get the 100 and you finish it. Most Pokemon go way past that 100 that you could get, and you get like a little gold star on the Pokeball whenever you fully finish the research. Um, but that is like an absurd task because like
Hmm.
what's like a fun example? Let's open up Ranger real quick. What are we looking at here? So like Garchomp. So Garchomp, you have to catch 10 of them to get all the catching tasks. That's a lot, but not
Hmm.
too bad. Three of them have to be an alpha, which are kind of like boss Pokemon. So a lot, but not a ridiculous amount. You have to KO 10 of them, three with Fairy. That's not too bad. I could defeat 10 of them in a pretty reasonable amount of time. You have to use 40 Dragon Claws, 40 Outrages, and 100 Strong Style moves. That's like an hour and a half of clicking attacks with the Garchomp. And then you have to stun 10 of them and catch both forms. So to finish Garchomp, you have to click moves for like an hour and a half. And then multiply that by 240 Pokemon. So the full completion is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's just absurd.
Yeah, I
Why?
know. I recently fully finished my Pokedex. I was doing it kind of offline on my casual file here and there. Um, Both myself and Halkery have done a true 100% run, which I think is like 150 hours or something. Um, and I know a lot of people who've like finished the Pokedex casually because a lot of people are kind of into that like completionist aspect.
Hmm.
So
That's
there's definitely some fans out there who go for it.
so. Are these like checklists of objectives listed in game, so you at least know what you're
Yeah,
doing? Okay.
yeah, they're listed in game. You can just pull up your Pokedex, click on the Pokemon, and it shows them. The website I showed you, the Ranger website
Mm.
that I pulled up earlier, that's by Corvame, and she just
Mm.
made a list of all the Pokemon, all their tasks. You just click on them, and it tells you how much research you're getting on the Pokemon. It's nice for speed runs, mostly for the routing. I don't like some people like when they start out doing runs, they will like religiously enter in everything they do and get their like exact research amount, but you don't really have time for that when you're at like top level. So you kind of just like you either memorize like what you would need to do in every situation, or you like quickly open up Ranger and you're like, okay, I caught three Shinx, but I didn't get both forms. What's a good backup here? Okay, I'll use three quick attacks instead of quick attack bite, and then I'll get the research that way. So you usually use it as like a tool to uh like quickly figure out like a route issue that pops up.
So getting the 100 you need for the bonus isn't like ridiculous goals like you would need
Yeah, that's
to full.
very fast usually.
Okay. Like the
Uh,
is there like a max research level for every one or it's different for everyone?
Yeah, so every Pokemon actually has a different total amount of research you can get into it. That's why some Pokemon are better to research than others for
Mhm.
like the because like for example, Starly, what tasks does this have? Starly has five total tasks. It has catch, catch without being spotted, defeat, evolve, and it has a one-off task to get both a boy and a girl. Like that's all of its tasks. It has five total tasks. But then like Shinx has 7 total tasks because it has pretty much the same tasks, but it also has KO with ground, use quick attack, use bite. So then all of a sudden, Shinx has like 3 more things to add variety to it,
Mm,
uh, which gives you like way more options in how to complete it.
okay. That that I genuinely can't think of anything like more complicated that I've heard so far than that,
Yeah,
like the routing and
there.
everything.
I'm sure there's other games out there that like, especially like RPGs, probably
Mhm.
have like a similar complication. Um,
Yeah,
at
I'm
least,
very much not an RPG person, especially when it comes to speedrunning. I just wouldn't. I don't know a damn thing. So.
yeah. And these are also like the 100% categories. Any percent's like a lot more chill. There's only maybe a list of like 60 Pokemon you would ever interact with in any percent. So you're managing the research on much like a much smaller list. Um, I think any percent finishes somewhere between 35 and 40 Pokemon. When I say finish, I mean get to like that rank 10 where you get that 100 bonus.
Mhm.
Um, so they're only doing like 35 to 40 Pokemon across that 3 hour run. So it's a lot more chill in how you do that.
But for any percent, you still have to sit through all those cutscenes every time, right?
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
like I'll mention this again. The first 20 minutes are pretty rough.
Mhm.
Definitely boring and there's nothing to do. But there's probably like an hour total of cutscenes through the run. Um, the other 40 minutes after the beginning, you don't even look at the game. You're just mashing text and you're just like routing. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I need to do this for Shinx. I need to do this for Starly. Oh, maybe I should evolve Starly actually, because that'll get me 20 on Staravia. I used Aerial Ace earlier. If I evolve a opposite form Starly, okay, I can do Staravia that way. That'll get me a bonus 140. Nice. Okay, and then I'll do this for Cricketune, and then like by like then you're like, oh, time to move on to playing. Cutscenes are over.
Hmm.
So you use your cutscene time to like do the routing. It's probably a little bit like boring on the viewer end because like the viewers aren't also routing
Yeah.
the game with you. Um, so like for them, it's just a 2 minute cutscene they have to sit through. But for you, it's like you're constantly thinking and trying to like solve the game the best way possible.
All right. Yeah. Just that's wild. Everything. Oh boy. Okay, so that was our hour spiel about Just Legends Arceus then.
Any other fun games you want to talk about? I've pretty much run every game other than DS, OG DS games. I know Gen 4, no Gen 5.
Mm. Is there any particular reason why?
Uh, the mashing.
Okay.
I have like some hand pain, so it's hard for me to do mashing. Where's my DS? I'll show you what the mashing method is, and you'll quickly understand.
All right. Because that's definitely like the era Pokemon I'm most familiar with is DS. So.
Yeah. All right. So you set L equals A in your options menu,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to always hold either A or B, and you also have to mash the touchscreen and the opposite button. So you hold with your pinky the L button, and then you mash your touchscreen as fast as you can while simultaneously mashing the B button.
And that's the optimal way to mash text in
That's the
that game.
optimal mashing in Gen 4 and 5. Now I'm not sure like how intense like record holders go on the mashing, but I ran Gen 6 for a little bit and it was pretty rough. I remember hurting my hands quite a bit playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
So
Um,
it's the same for all 3DS gens too.
yeah,
Okay.
3DS is the same.
Wow. That's interesting. I guess you never
Yeah,
really
pretty much.
realize without like seeing a hand cam.
Mhm. Yeah, really fun moment was I remember a long time ago. I don't know if you know who Bouncy Boy is. He was a SMS runner primarily. Uh,
Yeah, he ran at JDQs. I've heard.
yeah. So he joined the Pokemon community because he was like, "Yeah, I want a game that doesn't hurt my hands." So he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna run like Pokemon Red glitchless." He's like, "This hurts my hands way more than Sunshine. like it's there's so much more inputting than the Sunshine run in Pokemon Red because you have to mash all the text boxes." It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like in Sunshine, like you get like some downtime. There's like cutscenes in Pokemon, like
Mhm.
it's just 24/7 mashing, which is part of why like I like to run the Switch games now. Um, we allow turbo controllers because we just like
Ooh,
don't
good.
value mashing as a skill. So
Fair.
we because we allow turbo controllers, they're so much easier to run. Um, at least some of the games.
I feel
so
like for like RPGs, at least in like mashing sections, I feel like turbo should be like a universal, just like please just use this
I
because
yeah, I
yeah,
kind of agree.
like I get it for like more actual gameplay skill,
Uh huh.
but when it's just like literally trying to get through thousands of text
Text, yeah.
boxes, I don't understand why you just wouldn't use turbo. But
Yeah, exactly. I
I think more
another
people
where's
are adopting that, luckily. But yeah, it's just at a certain point, like,
yeah, you might be able to see it on the camera, you might not. So, back before we allowed turbo controllers, here's my Wii U control or my Switch Pro controller.
mhm,
The mashing method for Legends Arceus, you have to hold the B button and then mash the A button.
mm,
Holding the B button scrolls the text faster. It doubles the speed that the text is scrolling, and then you need to mash the A button to advance the text boxes. So I would do rake mashing. I don't know if you know what raking
mhm,
is, but it's where you like
yeah.
make your hand look like a rake and like slide it across the A button
I've
so it
had
looked
to do
like
that
this.
before, yeah.
Um, you can see like maybe how
Oh my
damaged this
god.
A button is. I don't know if it shows on the
Oh,
camera.
don't
It's
worry.
it's
I
crazy how
I
broken
can
this A button
tell.
is. Yeah, and like the
Oh
button
my
is like chipped. It's like and and
holy
that's
shit.
just like the A button because that's the only button you have to like mash like that. But um, eventually we were just like, you know what? Yeah, this is stupid. Let's just allow turbo controllers for Switch games. So
Yeah, okay.
we started allowing those, and ever since then it's been really nice.
Yeah, there's one thing I've ever done that's required a rake mash, and it's for a Mario 1 ROM hack. So,
Okay.
like, not something I have to deal with a lot of the time,
Uh-huh.
but
It is funny playing like domination with people, like and like knowing how to do like rake mashing and just destroying in domination in like Mario Party.
yeah. I've never like used skills related to that for something like that. That almost
Uh-huh.
makes me wonder, like, because the controllers are weirder, but if you could, like in Tetris, they have the whole rolling method. If you could like do
Yep.
that with one of those kinds of controllers, but it's easier with the NES because it's a flat block
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
everything else is more rounded.
Yeah. I tried rolling for Coliseum when I ran that game. That game also doesn't allow turbo.
Mm.
Um it's rough. Like the
Hmm.
GameCube controller is just so heavy, it's hard to roll it the
Yeah,
way you'd want to.
yeah. This piece of shit is light.
Yep.
It's a block. It's flat. I
Yeah, it's
still
so
can't
nice.
even roll on it, but like I understand how people can at least.
Uh-huh.
Everything else, not really.
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense.
but if only that would be
Mhm.
sounds like it'd be a lot more helpful at least.
Yeah. And then I understand why we banned turbo in the older games because we have RNG manipulation for those.
Yeah, okay.
And part of the RNG manipulation has to do with like what frame you're closing text boxes on. So if you turbo at the same rate every run, you'd always get the same RNG, and they could kind of like solve the game in a way.
Yeah, that I understand that being treated differently.
Yeah. So that.
Case by case basis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why it's unfortunate for like Fire Red. It's like,
Hmm.
man, round two looks like a really cool category, but oh my god, my hands.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we just talked about Arceus for the whole time. And that's more like what you've been doing now, or like for the
Mhm.
past little bit. Okay. So we skipped right to the end, but yeah.
Ah.
So we did the beginning and end, but now we have to talk about the middle of your thing.
True,
So
true.
like, I don't know where to like start off with that, but uh, I know the last thing we talked about from like the start was attending your first GDQs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, started running in 2012. First GDQ was 2014. I ran Gold Glitch. Wait. Yeah, Gold Glitched was that GDQ. Um, that was with, I think I mentioned it earlier, the coin case route where you
Hmm.
just use the coin case and activate arbitrary code execution in Pokemon Gold.
That's
Um,
cool. Yeah,
yeah, just,
got to show off a not too quick but not terribly long ace exploit.
yeah, exactly. And then we had like a nice little bonus with Sankey, who made like a really cool ace. It just said like SGDQ 2014, and it had like a Celebi fly across the screen. It was really cool.
Oh,
Did that with Ace. Um,
and then later ace showcases would be that, but a little bit more.
yeah, a little bit more. We've definitely had some other Pokemon Ace showcases. Um, but yeah, that was my first run. 2015, I ran Green Glitched, which was a bonus. It was just a 3-minute run, so it was kind of nothing. Summer Games 15, that's when I ran Catch 'em All, which is, I think that was a pretty popular run. I know a lot of people found me through that.
Yeah, that's one
Um,
of the most viewed videos on GDQ's YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's another very very complicated run. Again, I've always seen myself more of like a planner and a router. I find it more interesting to like kind of plan the runs sometimes than doing them.
So you
Catch
like
'em
the more
all
longer
for
ones.
not necessarily longer, but usually the longer runs are the ones that have like the most creativity.
Mhm.
Uh, Catch 'em all for Gen 1's definitely one of those runs because again, because there's so much luck involved and the kind of the skill of getting good in like that genre of run is you have to get good at knowing how to like accept the luck you get and then like adapt to like what you've achieved. So for example, like one segment's the Safari Zone. So you go to the Safari Zone, and you don't want to spend a lot of time there because you can't use the hundreds of Master Balls you've glitched yourself. Safari Zone, you can only use Safari Balls, and they're garbage.
Yeah.
Um, but going there is nice because every single encounter you get, it's 100% to be useful. Whereas if I want to farm Doduo somewhere else, it's only gonna be a 20% encounter. So I'd rather have a 100% chance of getting a new Pokemon, but a 50% catch rate, than have a 20% chance to get a new Pokemon with a 100% catch rate. So all of a sudden, it's worth like going there and like you might like one run you'll get like Doduo, Paris, Leave, and then it's like okay, I need to get both Nidorans later. I need to get Nidorina later. I skipped Rhyhorn, I skipped Execute. It's like okay, now I need to back up those 7 Pokemon, and then a different run, you might get like Execute Rhyhorn, Doduo, Paris, and it's like, okay, I only need the Nidorans this run. Okay, I'll back those up here. Um, so that's what's kind of interesting about the Catch 'em All run, at least when I ran it. Nowadays, it's a little bit more solved, so it's not quite as interesting. We have Manips now, so
Mhm.
for Gen 1 games, if you save the game and do a hard reset of the console, the RNG value gets set to the same number. And if you play the exact same way from console, like restart until like getting the encounter, you will get the same encounter effectively every time. There's a small chance that the manips fail. Um, there's there's 60 different frames you can save on, and typically 59 of them give you the same result.
Hmm.
But if you accidentally save on frame 37, you will get a different result. The way that Pokemon Gen 1 works.
Is it easy
Um,
to buffer into back into the game then?
yeah,
Okay.
there's a exact buffer, and the thing that's really interesting is it's very important for the runs. There's different ways to buffer back into the game. So, because we have like, I don't know, let's say 16 different ways we could buffer back into the game, that gives us 16 more uh multipliers to like how many results we can get. So like uh when we're like looking for a certain manip, let's say we need to find a Tauros manip. So Tauros is a 4% encounter, and we also need the RNG to line up so that when we throw the ball, it gets in. So we need a 4% Tauros encounter and then a 6% catch. So we're looking for like, a 1 in 500 event, let's say. Um, you might test like one of the intros and you get nothing. And you test, okay, well, I didn't find any with like that. Let's do a hop 3 buffer. And then like we have different names for like all the different ways you can load into the game. So um, there's like hop 1, hop 2, hop 3. There's crazy buffer. There's uh, holding the A button saves a frame, and that gives you an entirely different RNG value. There's like so many different ways you can buffer in.
Hmm.
Uh, you test every single one. And it's like, nice, I found the Tauros with this exact intro, this exact movement. And then it's all about like then finding like the fastest one that works. So um, we have those manips now. So because we have those manips, you kind of have lost the like routing aspect. Like there's no more routing on the fly where it's like, okay, I don't have Paris. I'm gonna have to do this here later. It's I don't have Paris. Here's Paris manip.
Hmm.
Okay, there's my Paris, and then so on and so forth. So uh, we've kind of moved past the routing on the fly, high variance, like trying to solve your game as you play. And we more moved to like a very, very complicated run where the complication is like the memorizing of like everything you might need because there you need to basically memorize 150 different manips. All of them are like pretty complicated because like you have to remember exactly which like buffer through the intro it is, and then like the movement. So like one might be like, okay, you walk exactly 4 tiles to the right, then press the A button, and then release the A button, and then walk 3 tiles to the left, and then do a start buffer up, and then like do an A press to the right. And then the next one might be like, okay, you go 2 tiles to the right and then go up and then do like a Pokedex flash, and like there's so many like different like ways that we can like change what frame you're getting the encounter on to change the RNG.
Hmm.
Um, so that's the complication is like the knowledge of knowing every single manip for every single Pokemon, basically.
And you have to, I assume, be standing on like a very specific tile and then execute the buffer, like when
Yeah,
you reset.
yeah. Movement like the most of it's not that complicated. You have like a pretty sizable amount of time to like change your inputs and whatnot when you're like doing the movements, but uh, some of it's like kind of hard and like if you mess any of it up, and then also there's a small chance that every manip fails. You have to like resave the game.
Hmm.
Uh, like I said, if you save on like frame, I think it's frames 37. Sometimes like not all manips are going to be 59 out of 60. Some of them are like as low as like 52 out of 60. So like 8 out of 60 frames fail. And then you have to like be confident enough to know if you fail a manip, it's like, okay, was that me messing up or was that the game that I saved on the wrong frame? And then you have to resave the game, do another reset, um, do the whole manip again. So uh,
Yeah.
there's like that aspect to it as well.
Okay. But when you ran it at GDQ, there was none of that, or like very
Yeah, we didn't
limited.
have manips yet.
Okay.
It was
None of that.
it was pretty interesting. Like back then, we used the in-game timer. I don't know how much you know about this.
Hmm.
Pokemon games, way back, we used to use the in-game timer for like our times.
Yeah.
So for like we would never save the game and reset. We just banned saving and resetting
Mm.
because we were using the in-game timer. We couldn't do save and reset.
Yeah.
Uh, so for like several years, we would do that. But then like we slowly like as more people joined the community, we slowly were like voting more in favor of switching to RTA. And once we switched to RTA, all of a sudden, oh, we're allowed to save and quit now because
Hmm.
uh, we're using RTA. We don't need
Yeah,
the
they'll
in-game
lose
timer
time.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
Well,
fair.
the thing with the in-game timer, why we couldn't save and quit was because you could just like do a segmented run at that point. Because
Yeah, like it doesn't keep track of all the times you've
yeah, it doesn't
done that.
keep track of the resets. Um, so we switched to RTA, and then as a consequence of that, like maybe a month or two later, we figured out, wait, if you do a hard reset, you have the same RNG value every time. We could use that to manipulate, for example, getting like a perfect Nidoran. It has like perfect stats, or a perfect Squirtle, or like whatever Pokemon you want.
Mhm.
Um, so then once we figured that out, it was kind of like a whole new era of Pokemon runs because for the catch 'em all categories, that meant we could find a manip for every single Pokemon in the game, and then all of a sudden there's no more like RNG to like the catches. Uh, you could just effectively guarantee every catch. It would just take, a minute to do the manip because you have to save the game, do a hard reset, do some funky movement, and then get the catch.
Mhm.
Um, there's another thing that has existed for a long time. It's called dsum manipulation. Uh, very, very hard to explain. Basically, the way the encounter system works in Pokemon Red is, how many frames is it? It's I think like a 330 frame cycle. Every 330 frames, it goes through the cycle. Based off what frame in that cycle you get your encounter, that's the encounter you're gonna get. So like frame 0 would be the most common slot up to like frame 60 or frame 120 because it's 20% of the slots, 20% of the 300 whatever frames. Um, and then like frame 350 out of 355 of the cycle, that's gonna be like the 1% encounter, the super rare one. Um, and the cycle is always moving at the same speed. So like if you see an encounter, you know exactly where you are in the cycle. You can count, okay, I need to get this encounter exactly 4 seconds later, and it will be the Pokemon I need. And you can like track your D sum to try to like get those encounters. So we call that D sum manipulation, where you get an encounter, you would like kind of know what value you're on for the route, try and get an encounter closer to like the thing you need, and like track and like slowly figure out exactly what value you're on so you can try and get the very rare Pokemon. Um, that was kind of the main skill for Catch 'em All way back. Once Manips happened, we kind of stopped using DSum because there was kind of no point. It was better just Manip than like try to do a very, very complicated, basically guessing system to lower down your like what encounter you're gonna get.
Mhm. Jeez. So every Pokemon game is just complicated.
Yeah, Pokemon very, very complicated because we know so much about the games.
Yeah,
So,
that
uh,
just these strategies are just they seem so unique to me, at
yeah,
least. But
yeah,
I've never heard a
RPGs
game
are
like
a very
this.
different genre of
Hmm.
of game. We have the brain, but not really the inputs as much. Like I
Mm.
know you run games that are more like input focused,
do
very,
do
very
these exact
difficult input.
inputs on these exact frames where you reset and do it again. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Which is kind of funny. That's what we do with the manips. Do these exact inputs on these exact frames.
Yeah, but
Otherwise, you
you
have to do
can
the manip
buffer
again.
them. We can't buffer
Exactly. We
them.
my favorite joke is whenever I do trainer fly, I'm like, you have one frame you can pull up the menu and fly away from the trainer. You have 2 seconds to buffer it.
Great. If only.
Yeah.
Yep. We do not have that luxury, but it's
Hmm.
fine. The very different games anyway, doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so back then you had no manips, but was it glitchless? I assume not, right?
Petramal was glitched.
Yeah.
Any percent we had glitchless, and then we had a category called no save corruption,
Yeah.
which allows every glitch except for save corruption.
Hmm. We talked a little about that, but yeah, I assumed because I remember the estimate was like just over 2 hours or something for Catch 'em All. something like that. And it's like there's no way you could do that glitchless.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We have a category across like all Pokemon games called all obtainable Pokemon. Um, Most games have one.
Mhm.
Those categories are typically glitchless, and it's just catch every Pokemon you can on just the one copy of the game. So
Because
for
some
Pokemon
are
Blue,
exclusive to the other
yeah,
version.
there's version exclusives, and then sometimes there's also choices. So like for example, in Pokemon Blue, if you pick Squirtle, you can't get Charmander, you can't get
Yeah, okay.
Bulbasaur. So
Mhm.
that's six Pokemon you can't get just straight off the bat because you picked Squirtle.
Mhm.
So no Charmander line, no Bulbasaur line. Um, so all obtainable Pokemon for Pokemon Blue, for example, is 124 out of 150. So there's whatever it is, I guess 27 Pokemon you can't get if you include Mew. So that's the max obtainables, and my PB in that is like 550 with Minips and like 629 without Minips. Are my two PBs for that category. So Minips in that category save like a, probably about an hour, all things considered. Mostly because of Safaris and being incredibly high variance.
Mhm. There's something ironic about it where the catch 'em all where you catch like an additional 20 something Pokemon is like 3 hours slower.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously,
Well, any
difference
percent's
between
an
glitch and
hour
glitchless, but
40.
hmm.
Yeah. Glitch. It's kind of funny. Glitchless. Any percent is slower than glitched catch 'em all.
Oh no, okay. I guess that
Glitched
makes
catch 'em
sense
all is an
nowadays.
hour, like an hour 20, I think. Hour
Jesus.
26, maybe. I forget. It's like it's sub 130. Um, and any percent glitchless is, I think it's 142 or 143 now. I forget.
Hmm,
I think it's 143 because Guy had a 144.01, and I got beaten by Sind like kind of recently.
okay. I do remember the summoning salt video, however many years ago that's been now. So
Yeah, yeah. I think there's only been one record since that summoning salt video. I think it's just Sind.
really?
Because I think Guy got the record for that video at 144.01, and I think only one time has been better since. I might be
Huh.
wrong because I'm not like I'm not super big into the Gen 1 community. I just, hear
Okay.
about stuff and know about some of it.
I was gonna say that if true, that's wild because that video came out like 6 years ago or something, maybe even
Yeah.
more. So that's very interesting. But yeah, I haven't kept up because again, I don't really know that much about it.
Mhm.
So not my
Yeah,
expertise.
I'm gonna look because I'm curious. I want to see what the final time here is.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious too. But yeah, I do remember the whole like IGT versus RTA shenanigans that came. Oh, hey, that's your name. I didn't even think about that until I said it. But yeah, so that's where my knowledge of the game comes from.
Hmm. Well, maybe it was slower for this than I remember.
But I do remember enjoying that video when I saw it,
Yeah,
however
yeah.
many years ago. But so I retained a little bit of information, but nothing too substantial.
Hmm. Okay, I think I was wrong.
Okay.
This was like okay. This came out like way earlier than I remember because there's been a couple different videos that have done
Oh, okay.
like histories on Gen 1. Yeah, this was like one high 140s. It looks like. So yeah, there's been a few records since then for sure.
Okay, that makes a little more sense then. Just got the
Yeah.
videos mixed up. But yeah, I haven't seen whatever the updated one would have been.
Mhm. Yeah, because Gen 1 is slowed down a lot because
Mhm.
it was maybe like 4 years ago, Guy got the 144 or 01. That stood for like years, because it was just like such a solid run. And then finally, I think it was Sind who got like a high 143. And I think that's still the record.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that yep, good video. That's or my memory lies. But
Mhm.
so I remember like Zarion's name
Yep,
and
yep.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, Xarion was, like, a pretty long had the record for, like, a pretty long streak, and then
Yeah, and that came
I
out of
think Gunnar beat it,
nowhere.
and then Pokeguy beat
Like
it.
started the out of nowhere. This speedrunner did this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, good times.
It's funny.
That was so fun, when Xarion came out.
Hmm.
That was such a fun, like, couple weeks.
I bet.
Just all the trolling.
Yeah, I did watch a video recently about around that time. You were in the video. You probably know what I'm referring to.
Oh,
I'm trying to
was
avoid
it
outright.
Pulse's video?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to avoid outright saying the exact contents because I don't like
No,
talking about
it's
that kind of
fine.
stuff. But yeah, I was just curious. So yeah,
Mhm,
I didn't know the like more intricate details from around that time, but it is quite fascinating because
mhm.
all this happened before I knew what speedrunning was.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, a
fun to
lot of
learn
it
the
was, like, the
history.
old forum days and stuff back when we were on, like, forums.
Yeah, I did not. I was not. I think when I started, Discord was already out. Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah.
So I didn't even use Skype during speedrunning for me. So
Yeah, we had Skype for a while, and then we kinda moved to we had the forums and the wiki for Pokemon runs.
mhm.
Shout out to Extra Tricky who made all those,
Yeah, there were plenty of
and the
wikis
Bomb
back
Stew and,
then.
like, those guys. Um, and then once Discord came out, we moved to Discord. We had all of Pokemon runs in one Discord,
Yeah, I heard
um,
about
which
that.
which
Oh
was a
boy.
nightmare.
Yeah.
So then we eventually, I think it was like 2019, we're like, yeah, let's just split. So we split every game, not every game, but like every like kind of generation into their own Discord. So we had like Gen 1 through 3, 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7, and then Switch were the main communities, and then all the side games. So like we had the Ore region games, which is like Coliseum XD, like that's their own one. Uh,
Mystery
all of
Dungeon.
like Mystery Dungeon has their own. Snap has
Mm,
their own. Like every game kind of has like their own server now, which is like it's nicer for the community building because you're not like like you can be in the general chat and it's like people who are running your game. It's not just like a bunch of other people who are running like Pokemon Snap that you would never consider.
mhm. Oh yeah, I lied then. I've beaten Pokemon Snap on WeVC like a
Eh,
bunch, and get ready for this, but completed both Poke Parks. Proud of that one.
okay, okay. I barely know those games. I've
Yeah,
played very few side games. I've only played Colo and XD because I speedran those for a while.
yeah. I
Um,
have a weird Pokemon history.
gotcha.
But it was my history. So
Mhm. Yeah, I've played very few total video games, is what I've learned over the years.
mm,
Like I've never played a Zelda game. I played Super Mario Sunshine.
I'm sorry.
That's the only Mario I've ever
I'm
played.
really sorry. Not a great only Mario game to have played.
Sunshine? I thought it was fine.
Oh, it's fine. Like
What's better than Sunshine?
most other games,
Dang,
yeah,
okay.
I'm a
Fair
Sunshine
enough.
hater. It's not as bad if you just beat the game, but since we were talking about like completion aspects, don't complete Sunshine. It's not
Gotcha.
worth it. Um, but I mean, I played it for the first time when COVID started on 3D All Stars, and I was just not vibing with it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
There were some good parts, but it's just so it. I've had a running joke with some other people. It feels like it's a like secret Sega game. You can take that as you
Okay.
will, but I don't know. It's just something about it. It's like weird. But
See, I've never
speedruns have
played a
been really
Sega
cool
game.
though. I love the speedruns for it.
Mhm. Yeah, I
But
only ever had Nintendo products growing up, and then we had an Xbox for a little bit.
mhm.
I played Halo and a little bit of Call of Duty, mostly Halo.
Growing up, I had the NES and then the Wii and a DS. But
Hmm.
when I entered high school, I ended up getting an Xbox and going down that route a little bit. But Yeah, I always stayed with Nintendo. Which is funny
Yeah.
because now I have every Nintendo console and every PlayStation console, even though I did not play PlayStation at all growing up. My first PlayStation console I got like 2 years ago. So
Nice.
and I don't care much about Xbox anymore because most of the stuff that matters is on PC now anyway.
True, yeah. That makes
Um,
sense.
but anyway, yeah, I have every Nintendo console except the Wii U, which I used to own, but I sold it because who needs a Wii U?
Yeah, I think I still have my Wii U. I played Wind Waker on the Wii U for a little
Mm.
bit. That was pretty fun. That's the only Zelda game I've played.
Yeah, I haven't played any Zeldas. Um, other than that hour of Breath of the Wild, but
True, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm in a similar boat where there's a lot of games that I think I branched out a good amount, but not for Nintendo. Like I played Mario and nothing else when it came to Nintendo. Like that little bit
Yeah,
of
fair enough.
Pokemon, but no Zelda, no Metroid, no. I did do F Zero at least. No Star Fox, not no Kirby. Like I missed out a lot of Nintendo IPs. So
Uh-huh.
I'll fix that eventually. But once you pick up speedrunning, it's hard to play things casually a lot
Right,
because
yeah,
it takes up so
exactly.
much time in the background.
Mhm. Yeah, just like playing through a Pokemon game the way that I want to play through it, because again, I like the completionist aspect.
It's gonna take a
Like,
while.
yeah, it's like I'd want to play for like a month before I'm like happy with the any percent part. But then the other part of me wants to just jump in on speedruns because the most fun part of speedrunning is that like first week when the game comes out because
Hmm.
there's so much like routing and whatnot.
Yeah, that's gotta be a hard thing to balance.
Uh huh.
Well, I know when Wonder came out, people were even speedrunning it before it released because it like
Yep.
leaked early.
Yep.
Like people get in really on the ground floor nowadays.
It's
I
so
couldn't do that.
annoying.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I need to have. I always recommend having a full like casual roll credits before speedrunning a game.
Yeah, exactly. Which was funny for me because the one time I didn't follow that, I was like, I'm gonna. You know about the Australia thing for Switch, where like if you have an
Yes.
Australia profile, you can get the game like 19 hours early or whatever.
Mhm.
So I did that for Scarlet Violet, and I was like, I'm gonna like quote unquote day one speedrun this. And so Scarlet Violet, the credits has the song uh what is it called? It's by Ed Sheeran. Celestial is the name of the
Okay.
song. And I think I was the first person to get to the credits.
Hmm.
And Ed Sheeran comes on, and I get a copyright strike on my channel because I was the first person to the credits, and Ed Sheeran plays, and I had no clue what was gonna happen. I just
Damn.
I get my stream taken down by whatever Warner Bros. Music. It's like, bro, come on! Like the one time I
Like
speedrun the game.
I feel like at that point it should just be like, "Hey, remove this and or mute." Like
Yeah, I don't
it should be
know.
like, "Fuck you. That whole thing's gone now."
Yeah,
Like
the
I don't know.
VOD got deleted, so I don't have the VOD of my first playthrough because it got like everything got taken down by Warner Bros. I think it was.
Yeah, like
It's like,
you'd think there'd be
how can
some
you
sort of
put a song in a
understanding.
video game that's gonna copyright claim you for playing the
Yeah.
video game? Like, there has to be something to the
Yeah.
copyright law here where it's transformative or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I upload a Mario 64 PB, the credits get claimed, not by
Right? Yeah.
legitimate means, and you always
Someone
have
made
to
a
dispute
sick
it.
trap beat over the
Yeah.
credits, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was another thing with Gen 1. There was an orchestra that did like a cover of every single Gen 1 Pokemon song. And then I did a stream that's like claimed, claimed,
hmm,
claimed, claimed, claimed. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, of course they put it in the copyright system.
yeah. Even though I don't make money on YouTube, I always dispute them out of spite.
Yep, same.
Because and of
Always
course
gotta
they
dispute.
always wait the 30 days. They never reply. They just let it run
Yep.
out. So,
I
classic.
will say the orchestra actually like I think it was the next day they're like, no, no, you're good. So
Hmm,
at least that was fast. Like,
nice.
'cause I remember being annoyed at that because I was like, it was I had just gotten the PB. I grinded for like months for the 629 and all obtainable Pokemon. It's like, oh
Mhm.
my god, I finally got the time I'm looking for. Upload to YouTube, like 25 copyright claims. Like, what is this nightmare that I'm about to deal with?
God, yeah, I can't even imagine. I've gotten pretty lucky where it's only been that one game, just the credits of Mario 64, but
Right,
you
yeah.
never know with how broken YouTube's everything is, how bad it can really
Yep,
be.
yep.
Although I do remember Guinness World Records did like a video with Cosmic, and they really did a really bad job, abysmal editing, and just played like one of his PBs. And they decided to do content ID on that video.
Oh my god, really?
So every single like warpless speedrun of Mario 1 got claimed.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
got 27 claims.
Nice,
Um
okay.
I know Chrism got claims. I know other Mario 1 speedrunners got claims. Like even Chrism, who was probably doing something
Honestly,
completely
good. Fuck
different.
that guy. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. So yeah, just it was wild. Wild time. That was solved within a day because Skinner was just like, oh yeah, we fucked up. Yeah,
Mhm.
you did.
At least that's crazy to me that Guinness was, like, down to be like, "Yeah, we messed up." Like, that's
Well, I don't
wild.
know if they said like, "Oh, our mistake," but they fixed it within 24 hours. All the claims
Right,
were
yeah.
gone.
I'm just
Um,
shocked that a company was willing to, like, put forth any effort into making less money.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's impressive to me.
yeah, but I mean, it was like not it plus it was all like not real. Like I don't
No,
know the way to put
I
it, but yeah.
understand that. Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying I'm surprised they were willing to, like, put forth any effort into fixing their mistake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Guinness kind of sucks ass, but
Mhm.
I'll say it. But
Hey, I was in there one year.
yeah, is
I
it
think this I was in there at the same one as Cosmic. Yeah, it was the same one because it's about blindfolded speedruns, I think.
mm,
Unless Cosmic was in there twice, which is like very
maybe.
possible. Cosmic's pretty big.
Yeah. All I know is I don't think I've ever been in one, even though I've had plenty of well, I could be in one and I just don't know because I don't buy the books or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
They've never reached
Well,
out to
mine
me.
mine was really funny. Uh so they were just apparently doing a section on blindfolded speedruns, and that it just so happened that GDQ we had a donation incentive to do blindfolded Red NSC,
Mm,
and we'd only ever done like one run of it. So like me and Etiquette did a blindfolded race. Took us like an hour or whatever. Like we didn't have any like strats. We were just kind of like brute forcing our way through the game. Because you can kind of just do that with Pokemon. It's like a tile system.
mhm,
So like our blindfolded is very easy compared to like anything else. Like you hold right until you bonk the building. You hold down until you bonk another building. You hold right until you bonk another building.
mm.
I'm sure you know like a little bit about like how blindfolded runs work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, very simple game to do blindfolded. The only thing is there's like a 3% chance that you kind of get like an unsolvable situation when you're blindfolded because based off your trainer ID, you get certain items when you do the item underflow glitch.
Mm,
And some of those items basically like make it so you can't beat the game blindfolded. You have to like press the B button like a random amount of times to get past like certain super glitchy items while you're in your bag.
mm,
You just can't do that when you're blindfolded. So there's like maybe a 3% chance. And that was the GDQ that I was doing the catch 'em all run. So I spent the whole week practicing. So
mm,
it was gonna be a it was gonna be a it was a donation incentive. Etiquette was gonna go, but he couldn't end up going that year. So then I was the one who was gonna do the blindfolded run. And then I was like, I just want to do the catch 'em all run. Keys run was there. I was like, all right, Keys, you do the blindfolded run. I'll do the catch 'em all run. Then we found out there was like a 3% chance that we couldn't finish. So we're like, let's do it as a race just in case. And I didn't
mm.
practice it at all. But Keys like choked the run, to say the least. He had like some issues and like completely threw. So I just like tiptoed my way through the run like super slowly. I got like maybe it was like maybe a 25 or a 30-minute time. It was terrible. Uh But Guinness was there, and they're like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, let's do that for the Guinness Book of World Records." Like this awful run, and just because I happened to win the race, uh, I was the quote unquote Guinness Book of World Record holder
Yeah, whatever.
out of default. Even though like other people probably had 10-minute faster times online than whatever garbage was on display there.
Hmm. Well, at least he didn't have to fork over like $10,000 or whatever it usually
True, yeah,
takes, or
whatever they charge.
whatever the fuck. I mean,
Yeah, they
I
reached out. They came to my house and took pictures too, which
oh
is
my god,
interesting.
yeah, I've never been reached out to by them, but I am kind of vocally not a fan.
Yeah,
But
I definitely get that
especially after
sentiment.
they copyright claimed 27 of my videos for no reason. I've never really been a fan of them since, but
Yeah, it's pretty sick. They should claim more, honestly, at this point. Like if they've already claimed half of them, let's get the
but
rest.
yeah, Cosmic got a record. They gave him a plaque, did that YouTube
Yep.
video I was talking about, did a whole piece. I then beat that record. Nothing. Crickets. Tragedy.
Yeah. Well, like they only care about like what's current. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
back then, like at least what I was in there for was the blindfolded run. They had Panga who did I think blindfolded SMB whatever the SMB one maybe.
Hmm.
He did I think it was Super Mario World blindfolded, and
Yeah, I
then
was gonna say.
Cosmic did something blindfolded too in Super Mario Bros. One. Or sorry,
Hmm.
Super Mario Bros. One, Super Mario World. That's the game that I think Panga did.
Yeah.
It's like way more impressive accomplishments than the guy who did Pokemon blindfolded and bonked into every building multiple times and got lost twice.
Oh well.
Um, but yeah, like back then, blindfolded was all the rage, and then probably like whatever was next was like warpless, maybe I don't know.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah,
like, oh, that's cool. Let's have that in there once, and then they'll move on to like whatever the next popular thing is.
yeah, I don't know if my name has ever appeared at all. I assume they'd contact you. Well, because I know they've done things like very one-off things, like they just take data from SRC or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if my name has ever appeared in a book because I don't buy them. So I would be curious. Um, I do have one of them because my like mom saw it at a garage sale and thought it'd be funny, and so I looked at it and I was like, I did recognize some people, but I was not
Uh huh.
featured. But one thing I did notice is it was like a month ago or whatever. We were talking about Guinness books as a joke, me and some other
Yeah.
guy, and I decided to look up like the latest issue, and it shows like the first few pages, so like the main cover and then like the foreword and the table of contents. The foreword was written by Nifsky, and I was like, wait,
Oh wow,
I
that's
I
interesting.
wasn't expecting that.
Here, give me one sec.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's the book. I don't have the page
yeah,
marks,
this is before
unfortunately.
my time. I think I have 2020. Whatever has the giant Fortnite special. Very important stuff.
the Fortnite special.
Yeah, like they proudly
Yeah,
show
check
it.
out Panga. This is Panga's page. They got him dressed up and
Yo,
everything.
nice.
It's
That's
sick.
a Mario Maker too. Yeah, that's pretty
Super
cool.
Mario Maker. They have blindfold. Yeah, here it is. Blindfolded speedruns. Again, they got Panga. That was
Yeah.
probably what got the
Nice.
clicks. There's me with the Game Boy.
Nice.
And then Cosmic's in here somewhere. Where's Cosmic? They have Fastest Blindfolded Child Dungeons Legend of Zelda by Runner Guy.
Mhm.
Mike Tyson Punch Out by Sinister One.
Nice,
I don't know
nice.
why I got like this much of a page. I think it's because they interviewed me. I
Mm.
swear Cosmic was in here, but maybe not.
In the book I have, they interviewed Pack, the
Oh, that's
speedrun.com
cool.
creator, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
brief little
very
thing.
interesting.
Actually, I'm gonna pull it up now. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, then they have
Pulling out
Panga's
our
in there
books.
twice.
Yeah.
Haha.
I have, yeah, Gamers Edition 2020 with Fortnite 14-page special.
That's sick. How do they do 14 pages on Fortnite?
I don't know, but they definitely did. They are all here, unfortunately. Uh, I think their whole, like, speedrun section is just this book kinda sucks. I don't know, it's weird, like, each page is like a different character or a different game and just random records
Oh,
about
yeah.
them, and each one has, like, "Ooh, love story with a love meter." I don't know. I don't know who they're aiming for here. Well, they do talk about Matthias Rustemeyer, the GOAT Mario Karter 64.
I was gonna say
Uh,
that name sounds
oh,
familiar,
here
but I
we
don't really
go.
know what they've
They
done.
do have fastest time to make Mario shirtless in Super Mario Odyssey, and talk about nipple
Yeah,
percent.
that was topical at one point. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just pick, like, I think a popular meme speedrun per year, and, like, that's their, like, Speedrunner Spotlight. I'm curious what it'll be like
yeah.
next year.
No, I'm just
I
looking
should
at
go to,
this.
like, a Barnes& and Noble or something and, like, just read through it and see what the
Oh.
speedrun that makes it is.
This is when they did that thing, that collaboration with speedrun.com, where you could get like this Guinness World Record certificates. Like they had something for an Odyssey challenge and a God of War challenge because they're
Oh,
talking about it
interesting.
here. But yeah, they have a whole interview with Pat, one page with just very basic questions. And then the whole
Yeah,
speedrun
yeah.
stuff is like just, oh, what's the world record for X game?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very simple. But for and it's weird because it says, like, 2020, but they talk about the 2018 record, so which was very much
Right.
outdated by 2020.
Yeah.
But they do say Cosmic's name, but, Sumwest had the record at whenever they oh, J-Hobbs is in here for Marvel's Spider-Man. Cool.
Wait, that's interesting, hold
Yeah,
on.
let me see if I can pull it up. Well, there's the Mario
I'm looking
one,
up how many people have ran Marvel's Spider-Man, I'm curious.
2018. That's that one. This is going really off the rails for a podcast. I don't care though. This is funny. Uh,
I hold on, I'm pulling up J-Hobbs.
yeah, like there's a tiny tab for Super Metroid, and it's like one sentence just saying like, "This game speedrunners can't stop playing," and that's it. No record holder, no nothing. Like what?
Okay, yeah, I found it. There's 11 total runners for the Spider-Man game. That's sick that
But
they picked that. I guess maybe Spider-Man was popular, so they're like, "Yeah, let's put the new Spider-Man in the book."
yeah, this
That's
book
so
for the
sick.
speedrun.com page is kind of boring. It's just 4 pages of just random games with just who had the record, and that's it. Like it's really kind of just boring. Did they mention a Pokemon on here? They don't even talk. They don't even
There's
mention a
no way to
Pokemon on
know.
here. No. Well,
I mean,
actually,
Pokemon,
let me see. They talk about
we
Bowsette
don't
in
really
this
get that many
book, so that's pretty cool.
records. That's sick.
Oh,
That's a throwback.
wow! Right under it, they talk about the Tetris World Championships. That's actually cool. It's a shame it's
Okay.
Bowsette's right above it, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would have seen the
where's?
Bowsette and gotten the hell off of that page probably.
All right, let me. So what? Just Pikachu? Is that all they got? Okay. Again, this
Time
book's
to
like
look up
fucking
Pokemon.
cringe anyway.
Mhm.
Let's see. Do you have any? Oh, here we go. They have a world record for fastest co-op completion of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee.
Co-op completion. Is it any percent or is it catch 'em all?
I think it's any
If it's
percent. It's
co-op, that's
three
hilarious.
hours
Oh my god.
25 minutes.
That's so funny. Yeah, co-op is slower than solo just
Hmm.
because nobody runs it. Who has the record there?
This is
Who's it say?
R- Retrotato and Chibidesu.
Okay, yeah, they're not really Let's Go runners primarily, but I know Retro.
Okay.
Retro's done Gen 1 stuff.
And that I think is the only Pokemon speedrun in this book mentioned.
Yeah, that's just like that's clip farming. That's
Clip
not a real
farming.
category.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't
That's like
know.
me saying like I'm doing a Pokemon Red and Blue co-op any percent run, and it's just me doing two any percent runs at the same time.
Yeah, this book's not. fantastic, but
Uh-huh.
it's just interesting. It would be nice to, like, get a collection just out of curiosity, but I don't know. It's just not a fan of Guinness, but that was, like, a garage
Yeah.
sale for $4, so whatever, but
Yeah. Again,
it's
I
funny
like,
to
they
look at.
literally just, like I feel like they do what I do sometimes. Something fun to do is they have a random button on, speedrunner.com. You can just click a
Mhm.
random game.
Yeah, I
And
love that.
it's fun just, like, randomly click through and, like, find funny games and be like, "Oh my god, like, 2 people have ran this." Like, that's so crazy to me. The random game button is really fun just to
Yeah,
kinda, like, see.
I know, the Rickster made a video about, like, just odd speedrun.com stuff, and he was, like, just clicking the random buttons, and what's funny is, apparently by doing that, he found, like, the one game I am on the leaderboards for that's, like, not Mario,
That's
just by
sick.
pure chance, but he pointed out Summoning Salt, he was also on that leaderboard. So, you
Uh-huh.
don't see me, but I am on that leaderboard. Shoutouts to Math Blaster for the Super Nintendo. Any
Oh my god, that's sick.
anyway.
That that would be a really fun challenge. It's like you click random game on speedrun.com and you have to get like top 10% in that game.
Oh my
And
god.
like sometimes top 10% is like just like do a run because there's only one runner, but
Oh,
like
yeah,
sometimes
sure.
you might have to like actually do a few runs if you roll like a real game. All right, let's do it. What's my random game? Bang. I rolled Team Umizoomi and Dora's Fantastic Flight from 2012.
Great.
This appears to be a DS children's game of Dora the Explorer, and
Uh-huh.
there's 2 runners of any percent, and there's no runs for Hundo. So I could just do any 100% run and get the record.
Nice. Do they even have the random button on mobile?
I have no clue. You click games at the top, and then there's random game on just
Oh,
the
there it
games
is.
tab.
Okay, yeah. Top Gear Rally 2 for N64. That sounds real.
Nice. Is it a real game? How many runners?
1.
The second game I rolled is Barbie Gotta Have Games from 2003. The world record is 12 seconds.
Well, that should be easy.
That's
Yeah, there's
awesome.
one speedrunner for that game. I have at least heard of it, so that's good. Anyway.
This is like a Mario Party game. Each mini game has
Yeah.
their own run. I see.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever do this challenge, but that is someone who likes content can probably make that work.
Yeah, that's definitely a content thing
That's
for
a
sure.
content thing. I can see the appeal, but I'm very much I have what I like and stick to that usually.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Um, well, anyway, that uh, completely lost train of thought for the past like 20 minutes. I've noticed a trend. I do want to go over like all of your GDQ runs because we keep talking about one and then uh,
Uh-huh.
ending up somewhere completely different. Uh,
I've honestly not done that many GDQ runs.
you've at least been
So,
involved in a lot,
yeah, okay,
but
that's fair. I've been involved in quite a few of the Pokemon
yeah,
runs.
you can focus on just what you've like literally ran at.
Mhm. Yeah, so I kinda talked about the Catch 'em All run.
Hmm.
Before that, I ran Pokemon Gold Glitched, which is
Hmm.
just get to Goldenrod, type box names in, and
Win.
teleport to the credits, so that was a pretty easy run. And then other than that, what have I done? I did a glitch exhibition in 2016,
Mm,
uh, and just showed off some Gen 1 and 2 stuff. The next run I did was during the COVID GDQ era. We did
mhm.
Crystal Rando, item randomizer. Uh,
Ah, that was AGDQ 22.
Maybe, yeah. It was one of the online ones.
Yeah,
Uh,
I only know because I've been doing an archival project and I literally saw that last night. So,
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
because it was
Yeah, that
Chrism
was
and Keys.
yep, Chris
Yep.
and Keys. That's where the Bulbasaur meme came from,
Yeah,
because
I was gonna mention you have an emote on GDQ
yeah,
of your face on a Bulbasaur. Where's that come
yeah.
from?
So I think we started like 800K at the start of the run, and then uh, I think it's Fan Gamer who always does the Bulbasaur donation. They always drop 10K and then they say $10,000 for a stampede of 10,000 Bulbasaurs. And we got like, we get off topic in Pokemon speedruns. That's all we do when we're
and
commentating at GDQ.
apparently
So
on a podcast. Anyway.
yeah, so we were just like, yeah, it sucks. Bulbasaur is such a trash Pokemon for runs. I would love to use it, but it's just always so garbage. And then like a bunch of people start doing it, like don't talk trash about Bulbasaur or whatever. Uh, and like I was like, look, I'm not saying Bulbasaur's a bad Pokemon. I'm saying it's trash for speedruns. It doesn't get any moves. It matches up pretty terribly into like a lot of the gym leaders. It's just not a good Pokemon for speedruns. And like people just would not let it go. And I was like, I was content farming because it was easy. Like, how Twitch
Of
chat is
course,
in
of
a
course. Yeah.
GDQ stream. This is like completely free money for charity. Um, just talking mad shit about Bulbasaur for like an hour at this point. And eventually I was like, look, if we hit 900K, like I'll apologize, but like one, we're not gonna hit 900K, and two, Bulbasaur is a trash Pokemon for speedruns. Like you're not gonna get me to like say otherwise. Long story short, we hit 900K and I lost the race.
Yeah.
Like not only was I probably went like 5 minutes over estimate. Funny. Also had to do the apology thing. So I wrote like a copy pasta that was the
Yes. That was spammed
it,
in Twitch chat a lot.
yeah,
And
I
in
got spammed. It
French.
still gets spammed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they translate it to like every language.
That's awesome.
It was a pretty I thought it was a really funny copy pasta.
It was.
I think the after minutes of reflection is like one of my favorite bits. That was really
After
funny.
minutes of reflection.
Yeah, I love that one. So I posted that on like Twitter and then posted it in chat. It got spammed for a while, and I remember. I don't know if you remember who Sumi was. I don't know if she's involved with GDQ anymore, but she was like head of staff back then.
Mhm.
Uh, she like reached out multiple times, like, "Is this okay?" Like during the run, she's like, like they're really like hating on you. Is this fine? I'm like, yeah, it's hilarious. Keep like just keep doing it. Like if they're gonna donate, this is really funny. And then uh, I don't remember who the artist was, but like an artist did the Bulbasaur drawing. That ended up becoming the emote. And again,
Okay.
she was like, "We're like riffing on you pretty hard. This is all fine, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is like totally fine. We're making a lot of money. Like, keep it up." Uh,
Okay.
so then that's how the Bulbasaur got added. I was shocked when they added it as an emote. They asked me like the next day, like, "Hey, can we add the Bulbasaur emote?" I'm like, "Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Go for it."
Okay. So that is where that spawned from. I was curious
Yeah,
because whenever any Pokemon thing happens nowadays on GDQ, I see your face in chat. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
how did this happen? Now we know.
Yeah, that's kind of the story on that one. So that was the crystal item rando.
Mhm.
That was the first time we had a Pokemon randomizer at a GDQ, I think.
That was the
Um,
first? Wow.
yeah, I think that was the first Pokemon randomizer. It took us like
Wow.
whatever
Yeah.
14 years or I think whatever it was to get it in.
I feel like that's
Uh,
been like a decent staple at this point.
we were
Surprised.
trying for a long time to get Pokemon Rando in, but they just wouldn't take it.
Mm.
I have a feeling that like they thought that either one it was like not entertaining or two was uh two luck like two variants like high variants to put in a GDQ.
Mhm.
So like maybe that was an issue. But that one went pretty fine. Uh After that we did the 4 player how to describe it. It was we had a ROM where you would evolve every level into a random Pokemon.
Hmm.
So every single time you got a level up, you would evolve. So we did a 4 person like relay. We would pass the controller. It was me, Adaf, Keys, and Chris, and we would pass off the controller every time we got a level up and evolved.
Hmm.
So that was the bit. So it was a Pokemon Emerald randomizer. You randomly evolve every level,
I do recall
and
this one.
we just pass the controller off um, every time we would evolve. So
Hmm.
that was that bit. And then I did. co-op item rando with Chris, and that was the last run I've had at a GDQ. That was a couple years ago now.
So plenty of rando, yeah, nowadays. I was gonna say, like, sounds like I know there was another one that just happened.
Yeah, that was the ADEF. The finale
Hmm.
was. It wasn't a randomizer in the sense that the trainers weren't randomized. It was just
Yeah, chat picked the
his
Pokemon every
Pokemon
so often.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was a bit the ADEF stole from me. Was the Evo every level? I say steal like lovingly. I obviously am fine with other people doing it. But I had a bit a while back where I would what do I call it? I would run like a bracket. It would be a bracket and like we randomly roll like 20 Pokemon or whatever, run them through a bracket, chat would vote which Pokemon wins, and then like any donation like completely train wrecks like any sort of like sense of the whole thing. So it's like it was like like professional wrestling. It's like oh from the corner, Spinda comes out of nowhere, and now Spinda's in the running or whatever. Like it was just like pure chaos. Was kind of the idea. And then I would have chat vote for the game, the genre, so like randomizer, not randomized, so on, and then like the Pokemon. And then I think ADF started doing it for Emerald, where he would just have chat vote once, and they'd pick the main. And then for the GDQ run, he had the idea to do it like every badge or something. I think it was every split, or maybe every battle even. He would pick a new Pokemon. Um, I think it was per badge, or maybe it was like per like important fight. So maybe the rivals counted. Um, and he was just using like PK hex to like change the Pokemon every fight. So it was a pretty cool system. Like the idea was fun. Uh, the run was questionable, very questionable gameplay. Uh, but it was definitely a good time. It was a fun watch. It definitely went well. Like overall, it raised a ton of money. Which
Yeah.
I mean, you put ADEF on a run like that, he's gonna make a shitload of money.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember that finale mainly because of the
Uh,
fire alarm, but
yep, yeah, the fire alarms. I remember that.
good times out in the
Hmm.
cold. But
Yeah,
yeah, and then yeah, there's always some Pokemon run. I feel I know there was one at the most recent one too.
yeah. We usually get two Pokemon runs per GDQ. It's usually like one quote unquote real Pokemon run and one quote unquote like either meme or like more of a side game kind of run.
Hmm.
Um, so this GDQ had Fire Red Round 2, which is kind of like the most popular Pokemon run right now. There was recently a like 3-minute time save discovered, so uh, that's why Fire Red Round 2 has been so popular recently. And also, it's a really good category. I think it's one of the better categories we have because again, it's one of those runs that you have to like run on the fly and like kind of change your routing based off of like stuff that happens.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, that was the most recent GDQ. We had the Aerodon 2 run. I think before that was Heart Gold. And then um we had Oros maybe before that. That was with May and Sanjan, I think was the other runner. The two of them ran that. Uh and I think Platinum was around that time. That's all I can kind of remember from recent GDQ.
Hmm. Yeah, I know you're usually on the couch for runs you're not playing yourself, so.
Yeah, maybe like half-ish of the time. Um yeah, I'm pretty like knowledgeable about like all the different Pokemon runs, and I have experience commentating, so I feel like I make it on off of that combo a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Um, and then like obviously sometimes I I end up not commentating anything. I've also commentated like some other random games here and there. I did Halo 2 back when Kryphin ran it back in I think 2018. Not a lot of people know, but I know a lot about the Halo runs. I've been like part of the community for pretty long time, but like not super active.
Mhm. I know you said you
Uh,
started with ILs.
yeah, I started with Halo like way back, uh, and I'm friends with a lot of like the Halo runners, like Monopoly and Cryphon and them. So
Mhm.
that's kind of where I got my start in like speedruns was Halo, at least a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I commented the old school RuneScape run that
Hmm.
a cold one did. He did
Oh,
a
yeah.
challenge mode raid speed run, and I've like randomly commentated games I've never played before here and there because people
Hmm.
just ask me to couch because I'm good at playing the dumb guy when needed.
Hmm.
So like, oh, why do you do this? Oh yeah, I do this because blah blah blah. Like I can help people talk when they like aren't talking during their GDQ runs or whatever. So I've commentated like a few random runs here and there. And then Chris has me commentate like random Mario games here and there. I commentated a Mario 64 randomizer.
Mm,
It was like
yeah.
the first time I'd seen the Mario 64. That was hilarious. There were like so many better people for that couch probably, but
Hmm.
snuck on there somehow.
These things happen.
Hmm.
So, plenty of experience on stage
Yeah, at this point.
and for a long time too.
Yeah,
12 years.
first run was 2014 summer, so yeah, coming up on 13.
Yeah. Um, in terms of just like general attempts, are there what are the other games we haven't talked about at all yet?
Oh boy.
Mhm.
So let's see. 20 early days was Gold and Gen 1 Catch 'em All. I think we talked about that at least a little.
Mhm.
Uh I ran Coliseum for a while, Pokemon Coliseum. That's another really interesting run. I always call that the most complicated traditional Pokemon run. So there's like kind of two genres for Pokemon runs. There's either like a non-traditional game where like the focus is not the battles, and then there's like traditional where the focus is the battles. So like Legends Arceus is not traditional.
Mhm.
It's all about the catching and the researching. Pokemon Blue Catch 'em All is not traditional. It's all about the catching. Colosseum is very traditional. It's all about the battling. You catch three total Pokemon, and it's all about like your fighting. It's a very complicated game because of the way that the AI works. Uh, it's like way too much to get into probably, but basically the way
Sure.
it works is like first off, the every trainer has random leads. So like one fight, like let's say they have three Pokemon, you don't know the order that they'll send them out, and it's all double battles. So they send out two at a time. So there's like if a trainer has three Pokemon, there's like six combos that they could have, or three combos. I can't think
Mm.
how math works right now. Uh, I think three different combos of leads that they could have. So then you have to be able to react to like which leads they have, but also your Pokemon have random stats. And the way that the AI works is they like usually attack whichever Pokemon takes the most damage. So then it's like, okay, there's all these different leads, and then like I have this stat line, so like I need to know like which moves they might use against me. So it's another one of those very on the fly runs, but it's like very fast decision making on the fly because you have to react to the lead and like pick your moves immediately. So like you have to be prepared for like every single possible lead combination and like the risks you're willing to take and like that sort of stuff. So that's a really cool run. I really have a lot of respect for like the Coliseum runners. I think I ended up getting like maybe top three in that game before I moved on. Uh, it's another run that's kind of plagued by like a lot of Pokemon games suck at the beginning. That's like kind of the theme with Pokemon runs. Coliseum sucks because you have to hit a manipulation for Espeon. So you're like spending 10 minutes just starting the game, and then you have to hit a frame perfect A press. I'm sure you're
Hmm.
an expert of frame perfect A presses, but this is one
Yeah.
that doesn't have. There's no visual or audio cue.
Oh.
It's You press the A button to start new game, and then exactly 1,300 frames later, let's say, you have to press the A button. It varies based off of like which Espeon you end up hitting. So like you have a big spreadsheet of like all the possible Espeons. Um, and then like one of them might be runnable after like a bunch of re-rolls. So you like re-roll to it, and then like it's on frame 787, and then you have to press the A button 787 frames apart. The first A press to the second A press. Uh, that's just to get your starter. Then you catch a Quilava, and the Quilava has to both have a nature that purifies fast enough and also good enough stats to like be usable. Like you might roll a terrible Quilava and you can't use it because the stats are so bad. Um, so there's like all kinds of problems with just getting a run started in Coliseum. Sometimes you'll play for like a week and you won't get a runnable pair. Like you'll put in like 50 hours of attempts. And it's like, man, I haven't even gotten my starters yet. Like this sucks. But once you get past it, one of the best Pokemon speedruns. It's very, very interesting and complicated.
Hmm. Noticing a
Yeah,
trend there.
yeah, yeah. I only run the games that are like how to say it, like that require more than just a solved route. Like here's a good example. Pull up my Flamigo notes. So I'll send this to you on Discord. So this is like Scarlet Violet, which is not a good speedrun. This is not a good Pokemon speedrun. The route is identical. Every run you do the exact same thing. And the only real time save is your Flamigo stats and your movement. And I guess like how fast you select moves. So it's like not that interesting of a speedrun. You always just like do the same thing and then you're just trying to improve on the movement and the like how fast you select your moves and whatnot. There's very, very little variance. Like you can look through this whole thing. Like the first variance is on Gym Leader Iono on the Miss Magius. If you have 144 attack, you double kick. If you have 143 or lower attack, you acrobatics. Like that's the first thing you have to decide. And then you scroll through like 3 more hours. Okay, here's some ranges on Larry. You either acrobatics or you low kick based off your stats. And it's like the whole run is kind of like that. There's very, very little decision making. You're kind of just following the notes. And this is kind of the issue with like a lot of Pokemon runs is you kind of just follow the notes and that will get you through the run. The kind of interesting part about Pokemon runs is like when like finding places that you can add variants to save time, but you can't really do that in Scarlet Violet. There's like no real time save to adding variants because we're just you hit level like 90 and you just one shot everything. But in like Red Blue, it's like okay, I can take this risk. I'm like 10% to lose my run, but I'll save 20 seconds. Maybe that's worth it. Uh, but then there's other Pokemon runs like Coliseum where because the fights are random, uh, you could follow notes like this where every single possible scenario is routed out. Uh, but you wouldn't be able to react fast enough in Coliseum because like you have to instantly select your moves or you're losing time. So all of a sudden you either need the knowledge or you need to be able to like adapt to the variants. So like that's kind of what's cool about like the Pokemon games that have like more choice is it requires a lot more depth than just following an exact route and clicking the exact move it tells you to at all times.
Mhm. So every game is truly just different.
Yeah, exactly. Every Pokemon game plays differently. Some games are a lot more solved than others. Um, and some games you have the ability to take a lot more risk than others as well.
Uh,
So
some are more
yeah,
hard on the hands than others too.
yeah, the mashing is always the mashing.
Lots of variants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of the Switch games. I think all the Switch games allow turbo. I'm pretty sure all of them do. Um, very very easy to get into the Switch titles,
Mhm.
and we have
Uh,
pretty good resources, so it's pretty simple if you want to do Switch runs to just go to speedrunner.com and find the notes. Scarlet Violet definitely the easiest run to get into because it's just a solved game. You just follow the exact route, and I mean, if
win.
you, yeah. Here, here's the annoying thing about Scarlet Violet. So the main time save in Scarlet Violet is about how fast you mash, and that might
Mhm.
sound silly because we allow turbo, right?
Yeah.
We only allow turbo on one button. We set that as a rule so that people who didn't want to use turbo controllers could still compete. Because if you have a button mashing at 12 hertz, you can do that as a human. You
Yeah.
can match the 12 hertz or whatever pretty easily. So turbo is kind of just like, oh, if you don't want to mash, like whatever, like it's you're not saving time. Uh, Problem is, what if you put turbo on A and then mash the B button?
Hmm.
So now everyone who's like high level in Scarlet Violet is forced to mash the B button and use turbo on A, which is like making no one happy because
Mm.
the people who don't want to use turbo have to use turbo to compete because you can't compete with someone who's both turboing and mashing at the same time. And then the people who are using turbo aren't happy because we have to mash if we want to go for world record while also using turbo. So pretty much no one's happy, and the game died because
Well,
nobody wants to vote on changing the rules or anything. So Scotty kind of just died off entirely, um, which is unfortunate because some of the other categories, at least in the game, are interesting. But the majority of the time save is just how fast you mash the B button, which is where I'll send you a fun bit that happened because of this. So this is my most evil invention when it came to Scarlet and Violet speedruns. I called it the B pad.
the
And
B pad.
you might notice a strategy I was incorporating in my speedruns.
Let me see if I can pull this up. This way. Oh,
My most evil invention.
I
So
see.
if you have to mash B, what if we had 5 B buttons, Like all of a sudden, like this was saving some time, right?
Yeah. Shoutouts to free mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's great about the Switch 2 Pro controller now is it has extra mappable buttons, so you could really go to
True, it
town if
does.
you really
You're
want
right. You could have
to.
like 7 or 8 B buttons if you wanted. Well, the
Dear
funny thing
God.
is you need the D-pad button. So I had like D-pad down mapped to my screenshot button, and I think I had like D-pad up on my like R1 or something.
Oh
I
my
had like
God.
select buttons to like replace with the D-pad buttons. And I got like I did one run and I got like 30 seconds off a record. So I
So it
mean,
works.
it works. If I wanted to take the record, I probably could. Because again, the majority of the time save is just how fast you mash in that game because it's a solved game. Like you follow the same
Hmm.
route every time. Um,
Is there much RNG variance then?
no, there's no RNG at all.
No. That's so weird for a Pokemon game.
It is the only RNG, I guess, by technicality, is your Flamigo stats. So Pokemon get a random number between 0 and 31 in their stats. Um, if you roll, you can see we have I'll just print screen the chart because this is the chart. So the only two stats that matter on Flamigo are attack and speed because you literally for the entire run outspeed and one shot every Pokemon in the game. Um, as long as you can get high enough attack and speed. So as you can see, if you roll 31 attack and 26 or higher speed, you only have to buy 6 proteins. That's the vitamins you need to buy. So sometimes you have to buy 30 vitamins if you roll 0, 0. You can see it's 19 if you roll 0, 19 proteins, and 11 carbos if you roll 0. So you have to make enough money to be able to afford the vitamins you need to get all the outspeeds and one shots. That's the only RNG in the run,
Hmm.
is how many vitamins you need to buy on your Flamigo. And I think you just naturally can buy like 20 vitamins without going out of your way. So as long as you roll like average or better stats, there's no luck. If you roll like slightly worse stats, you have to pick up a few items and sell them. If you roll terrible stats, you have to pick up multiple items and sell them. But you can always just reset until you get a good enough Flamigo.
Mhm.
Because if you roll something that's like 20/20, it's pretty likely it's like 25%, and then you barely have to buy any vitamins.
Hmm.
That's literally the only RNG in the run.
That's wild.
Um, I think the final fight in the game can there's like a 50/50 or something where like you either get snowscape and lose time or you get freeze dry and you might get frozen. I think that's it. I think there's literally just two fights in the whole game that have like variants.
Hmm.
But that's kind of just the nature of Switch games. Um, they're like kind of easier than older Pokemon games, and we have a lot more resources available to us in the sense of like for Scarlet Violet, they just put like a million rare candies around the game, and you just get like a
Hmm.
bunch of rare candies, and you have one badge, and you're level 90. Like that's just how the game is. Like there's we have to tag all the towns to get all the fly points so that we can go to all the gyms, and just doing that, we get like level 70 on the Flamigo before our first badge, and then we just delete the game with a high level Flamigo.
Hmm.
Sword and Shield with DLC, you play through the tutorial, you get to the first town, you do like a little mini quest where you catch a slowpoke and go to the DLC area, and you lose a fight because the game expects you to be level 70 because like I guess when they released the DLC they thought everyone would just have beaten the game, and you just do Dynamax adventures, which is like a post game thing, and you just get given a level 65 Suicune. So you
Hmm.
just have a level 65 legendary with 0 badges, and you can just destroy the game with it.
Fun.
So like a lot of the Switch games, like you're just so powerful that there's not much decision making in the fights and like the routing, so they're like a little bit less interesting from that standpoint. I think the Switch games shine in the categories that like aren't any percent. Um, Legends Arceus and Let's Go both have good any percent runs because there's variance and like decision making. But a lot of the other games, there's really none of that.
Hmm.
So like Sword and Shield, you just click your strongest move with Suicune for 4 hours straight. Scarlet Violet, you click Wing Attack with Flamigo. Unless it doesn't kill, then you click Acrobatics. And then BDSP is like kind of similar. You just click your strongest move and sweep the game.
Mhm.
So those games all kind of suffer from low variance. But those are like quote unquote traditional Pokemon runs. Going all the way back to the start of this was what's a traditional Pokemon run? It's a run where it's primarily just fighting trainers, and you kind of just use one Pokemon and sweep the game.
Mhm.
And that's why I think Coliseum is the best of the traditional runs because it just has the most interesting decision making because you have to either think very fast or adapt to like bad circumstances.
Okay. Do the games that don't have grid-based movement have like movement tech for like overworld sections?
Yeah, some of them do. Um, Grid based was up until was XY the first non grid?
I guess technically,
Yeah,
yeah.
Black White was grid. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Black White
XY would
was.
have been the first. Um, that game, the movement's like not that complicated, and I don't think there's any movement tech that I can think of. Oros is the same. I think Gen 7 is the same. Let's Go is probably the one that has the most like important movement tech. You can skip trainers in Let's Go by Some trainers you can skip just because of the way that the routes are designed, and like you can go between trainers' visions. There's like a
Hmm.
few spots for that. And then additionally, there's what we call mount skips. So when you, do you know like you can ride your Pokemon in Let's Go? I don't
Yeah.
know if you know about them. You can like ride on certain Pokemon. Um, if you get really close to a wall, it kicks you off your Pokemon until you step away from the wall, and then you get back on it
Hmm.
because otherwise you couldn't walk near a wall. There's like very, very particular setups you can do where like you stand on a very specific part of the wall and then walk into a trainer's vision, but you walk off the wall in such a way that you get back on your ride Pokemon. But that teleports your character forward because like your collision changes when you go from standing to being on your mount Pokemon. And you can do that to like skip certain trainers.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it only works at the very end of the game because it only works when you have certain ride Pokemon, and they're not available until the very end. I think it's Rapidash or Aerodactyl are the main ones that you use to do the skips. Um, and at that point, the only trainers you're skipping are the ones in Victory Road. But it is pretty interesting that you skip like 4 of the last what would be like 9 fights in the game. You can skip 4 of them.
Hmm.
Um, I think there's 4 you can skip. I'm actually not super knowledgeable about Let's Go. But yeah, that's movement tech that matters in Pokemon runs. Legends Arceus is very complicated for movement because just the way that the game works.
Yeah.
Um, you're constantly getting on and off your different like ride Pokemon for different reasons. You can't interact with things in the overworld when you're on your Pokemon, so you have to like quickly mount and dismount and like do things. So that gameplay is really fast paced, especially after you get access to Wordier, like an hour in. Uh, that's kind of when the overworld movement like speeds up a lot. So Legends Arceus is very complicated. There's also like some movement, like a lot of movement tech. There's like cool stuff you can do with the movement in that game. Uh, a fun one is Ursaluna flying. Um, if you get on and off Ursaluna, which is the second ride Pokemon you gain access to, if you get on and off, like frame perfectly, you gain height.
Hmm.
So you can literally like fly across the map if you can frame perfectly, like get on and off Ursaluna. Very hard to do. But you can do that to like do some skips. Like you can get to certain areas early because you don't get access to swim until the third map. And there's like a lot of water you have to cross at certain points, but you can use Ursaluna like cross the water. So there's like movement you can do with that. That's kind of interesting. Um, ZA movement is not that interesting. You just roll everywhere because rolling's faster than walking. But only if you're crouched and not touching the control stick. You have to
Hmm.
neutral roll and be crouched. Um, so that movement's kind of weird, but it's not like that complicated. And what other games? Scarlet Violet is it doesn't really matter all that much. You ride around on Koraidon, it's not that interesting. There's backwards long jumps in that game.
Oh.
Well, we call them BLJs, backwards ledge jumping. If you
Hmm.
face backward, you can jump up ledges that you couldn't normally jump up. It's just a goofy tech. It saves a little bit of time here and there, nothing crazy.
Hmm.
What other games are 3D that I'm not thinking of? I think that's it. Oh, BDSP, that game's a grid because it's just copied the code from and Pearl.
Yeah, but I remember it being like weirdly broken when it came out.
Yeah, that was a fun game. BDSP was that was a shining moment in the Pokemon community. We
A
once
shining
reached the
pearl.
cap of people in a Discord call
Oh my.
because of how many people were like joining for routing. There was like a cap. I think it was 100 people.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
We
the
had like
cap.
a queue to get into the call pretty much.
That's
Um, but yeah, that game was real interesting. I could probably talk forever about that, but
hmm.
the main thing was there was the game like we started out we knew it would be glitched because like we found glitches day one. Um, and the biggest one was you get a given an egg, and when the egg hatches, you can just move to the right for 1 frame, and that was enough to walk past the NPC that was blocking you from Sunny Shore, which is like the final area. So
Hmm.
you could get into Sunny Shore early, and you would be able to skip a ton of the plot by doing that. And then the other thing is because the code is just copied from Gen 4, they don't check your badges at the badge check. But fun fact, um, small tangent. The badge checks have the badge checks in Pokemon games got worse over the years. So in Gen 1, they check each individual badge. You have to have each individual badge to walk past an NPC to go into the Hall of Fame. Good system. In Gen 2, they just check that you have 8 badges. There's 16 in the game. They just check that you have any 8.
Hmm.
But like normally you wouldn't be able to get the ones in Kanto because you have to beat the Elite Four to go to Kanto. So like normally the system's fine, but if you can glitch, you can get like any 8 badges and you can go in. So like okay, the system's gotten a little bit weaker. Kind of weird that we're doing that, but okay. Uh, for Gen 3, they only check if you have exactly the feather badge.
Hmm.
Badge number 6. You have to get the first 4 badges to beat Norman. You have to beat Norman to get Surf. So you have to get the first 5 badges. You need Tate and Liza's badge for dive, and um, you need Sutopolis City badge for waterfall. So those 7 badges are hard required just to get to the end of the game. You could technically skip Tate and Liza or Winona because it's only for Fly. You don't need Fly to beat the game. And you don't unlock any plot for beating Winona. So uh, the badge check in that game only checks for Winona's badge, the feather badge. Uh, so in theory, you can beat the game with 1 badge
Hmm.
as long as you have Winona's. Uh, if you can find a way to get there with 1 badge, you can do it. So now what are we doing here? Like
Hmm.
we started out like they would actually check every badge. Then it was any 8. Now just this one. They just look if you have 1 badge. In Gen 4, they just let you in. They're like, oh, you have all the badges. Congrats. You have no badges. Like, if you have no badges, they're like, oh, congratulations. You've collected all the badges. Go on through. Like, what are we doing? Like, how are we, how are we, like, getting worse over time? So they copied that into BDSP. So as long as you
Hmm.
can get to the hall, like, the Elite Four, like, front door, you can just go in. They'll, like, just be like, oh, congrats. You have all 8 badges, even though you don't. You can just go in.
So you're not
Uh,
supposed to be able to get there through normal means without all 8.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay,
because
so they
every
didn't
badge
even.
is required for something, so they just don't check because they just assume that
I guess.
you would you would have all the badges, but we don't have to because it's BDSP. So
Hmm.
at first we did the egg thing. You'd play for like 2 hours, get the egg, go through the Sunny Shore guy, and then like beat the game normally from there. Um, and we like slowly found faster and faster ways to do it. We eventually found Bidoof surfing, which is where like it's so complicated. There's a glitch where you can like surf on land and then like levitate by surfing on land, and like you can gain height and then like fly over walls while surfing on the barrel. Hilarious stuff. The game is so funny looking if you've
Hmm.
seen like anything about it. It's genuinely hilarious. Uh, that was the thing for a while. We were doing the whole Bidoof surfing. We would like surf on land to skip past Sunny Shore, and we could beat the game with like 4 badges. Then we found the route where we found we were slowly improving on that route. We found a way to clip out of bounds early. We would run up to the area where we get surf, and we would blitz getting surf. Because once we got surf, we got the ability to fly on land, and then we could just go to the end of the game by like cheesing through everything with like the ability to like fly on land. Um, and then finally, we found menu storage, which you could open 2 menus at once, which would just decimate the game. You could clip out of bounds. You could instantly win any fight. Like there were so many applications to the menu storage. Um, you could clip through walls was the big thing. So we just like went straight to the end. I think BDSP is the Pokemon game that requires the second least fights of all Pokemon games. Gen 1 is 0 fights because you just save corrupt and leave. Gen 2 requires a few fights. You have to beat the rival. You have to like encounter a few wilds while you run through the beginning. BDSP, you do the tutorial fight against the wild Starly, and that's it. You
Hmm.
beat the wild Starly. You pick your starter, beat the Starly, activate menu storage, do a bunch of glitches, beat the game. No fights. So
Wonderful.
that game was hilarious to route,
Hmm.
and all the routing that came with it. Hold on, let me input my drive. This is a really funny thing. I found them in here a while ago. Let me see if I can find them. But the funny part about it was the way that it ended up working was all of the like Americans and like nighttime EU people, we would all be in the VC, we would make the route and we call it the Sunday route. And then the Australians would get to do runs. And then the Australians would go to sleep, the Americans would wake up. We would see like what the Japanese community was doing and like we like take their strats and like make our route and then like find our own glitches and stuff, and then we would post like the Monday route, and then like the Japanese community would like see that and like they would improve our times and then like find new glitches. And we just had a route for like each day. It was like Saturday route, Sunday route, Monday route, Tuesday route, Wednesday route. I think it was Thursday route was like the final route. Like that the game was like 9 minutes at that point. Like we we
Hmm.
had completely destroyed BDSP by like Thursday. So it was like 1 week. We went from like 2.5 hours to 9 minutes. And each day was like a 30-minute time save because you just find something more and more broken.
Solid. It's got to be not too many games that are like that
Yeah.
nowadays, especially like AAA.
Yeah. I wish I could find it in my docs because I think I was the one who was like the typer so I was the one like documenting stuff and like formulating the route. So somewhere in my Google Docs, like in order, it would just be like 5 days in a row, like Saturday route, Sunday route,
Hmm.
Monday route, Tuesday route, so on. Yeah, it was very funny. That was a very good time. I
Well
guess I
made
could look
game.
when BDSP came around because it's probably just whenever that released. I can't remember when that game came out. I think it was like 2021. I have like way too many like random docs in my whatever you call it, my Google Drive. Oh, hold on. No. That was a glitch exhibition. Oh, this is neat. All right, yeah, I won't be able to find it in here. I have so many
Hmm.
docs in my Google Drives. It's impossible to find. I have like thousands of random things in here. It's always another fun thing going through all like the old Google Docs and like seeing the old routes, all the routes that you like never do anymore.
I feel you can make just hours upon hours of content talking about the progression of routes in the games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true.
I'm sure people have already done that, in fact.
Hmm. Oh man, yeah. I'm seeing very very early Pokemon Legends Arceus routes. That's funny. Let's see what starter we pick. That is not the right starter. Yep, unlucky. Yeah, it's really cool. That'd be a fun challenge. Like you pick like an old route and you have to run like the 2013 route or something. That'd be a
Hmm.
fun challenge.
Category
Do the
extension for each
exact
day the route was different.
yeah, or like each era of speedruns. Like even like Legends Arceus, like even a couple years after the game came out, we like completely changed how we did the beginning. What am I looking at here? Yeah, these are horrendous strats, but
Hmm. Gotta start
it's
somewhere.
fun to look at.
Hmm.
We're killing Parises with Shink's Firefang, which means we're going into the move tutor to teach a move that doesn't get any research just to KO 3 Parises with a Shinx. I don't know. These old routes, like they're so interesting. Like I'm really curious about like the mindset we had on certain things back then.
Mhm.
I wonder what the most like the biggest atrocity in all of the old routes that we used to do was. I'm sure there's something. The funny thing is like when we can't even decide what Pokemon we're gonna use for the runs. Like that was a thing when Scarlet Violet came out. It was like what Pokemon are we even gonna use? Because like the very first runs we were using like a Terra Lucario, but that was really slow. And then you can't turn off move animation, so every move has a different animation. So like if you click Aura Sphere, it's 6.6 seconds. But if you click Wing Attack, it's 1.2. So you save 5 seconds every time you use Wing Attack compared to like Aura Sphere. Um, so some of us started using Halucha because the animations were better. So that ended up saving a bunch of time. And then eventually we found the Flamigo, and that was like the clear answer. But for a while, it was like what Pokemon is going to be the Pokemon. And it's always interesting like trying to figure that out, especially like that's the fun part about running Scarlet Violet is like before the game gets solved, like trying to solve the game and like figure out like the correct way to go through it. But then like once the game gets solved, it's like, oh, it's literally just a mashing contest with no variance.
Huh.
But like early days is pretty sick.
So have you done a run of every game?
Pretty close. I've done all the categories in Gens 1 and 2. I've done some of Gen 3. Uh, I've never really touched Gen 4 or 5. I've done every Gen 6 plus. Oh, except for Sun and Moon. I've never
Mm.
ran Sun and Moon. Those games really suffer because it's all about mashing, and you saw how the mashing is, and
Yeah.
they're like 6 hours long.
Ugh.
They
Is
do
X
lead
and
to one
Y
of
just
my
short enough to be tolerable?
yeah. I will say Gen 7 has some really cool runs.
Mm.
I think the Ultra Moon route's pretty neat. Like there's some cool stuff to those games.
Is Ultra Sun
I will
Ultra Moon like
say
a Black 2 White 2 kind of deal?
a little bit, yeah, very similar.
Because that always confused me because they would have the two versions and then like the slightly enhanced combination, like your what crystal, your
Yeah, they have like
emerald, your
the
platinum,
yeah,
and then they
exactly.
started doing like sequel double release thing.
Yeah,
The structure was always just weird to me.
yeah. Uh, yeah, Sun and Moon 2 plays very similarly to Sun and Moon 1, but there's like more to do in the post game kind of stuff. But the base game is very similar.
Okay.
All right, here's my favorite line in any speedrunning notes. Are you ready?
Okay.
Check this out.
All right. Let me pull this up. Oh, please. Wait for Mississippi's avoids console crash.
if you if you menu too quickly, you crash the game on Aether Foundation 4.
Solid.
It's it's so sick. Yeah, we had a joke speed run. It was like how fast could you like crash or soft lock every Pokemon game?
Mm.
And Gen 7 is like pretty easy to crash. You find a double battle and you send out like a Pokemon with wings and then you menu quickly. So Aether Foundation 4 has like a Ledian, and any Pokemon that's flying and you like menu too fast, you crash the game.
Hmm.
So that's one of them.
So
Uh,
the full series speedrun should be fairly fast.
yeah, the Crash every generation speedrun. I forget what there was a problem at one point. I forget what the problem was. I think it was Gen 6. I think there was no crash in Gen 6.
No.
Every other Pokemon game you can crash. Gen 6 doesn't have a good one in X and Y.
All right. So X and Y are the best well-made games in the Pokemon series
Yeah, by technicality, I would think so.
then. Interesting that that
Yeah,
is
Scarlet
the
Violet
answer.
you could
But
even crash. Like,
well, that doesn't surprise me at all. I've seen what that
yeah,
game looked like upon launch.
yeah, yeah. That game on launch was very interesting.
Honestly,
The
I'm more
funniest,
surprised when it doesn't crash.
yeah, the funniest part was learning like Violet is the faster speed run. There's very few differences between Scarlet and Violet. The first difference is you fight a Great Tusk in Scarlet, and you fight an Iron Treads in Violet. Iron Treads is much more frail than Great Tusk, so you one shot it instead of two shot it. Other than that, the game is effectively the same. So, which game is the faster version to speedrun, knowing that you save 45 seconds on the Great Tusk fight versus the Iron Treads fight?
The one that's slower.
The one that's slower is faster
Yeah.
because you save 5 minutes to lag. And there's there
Awesome.
and like what's causing the lag? Nothing. The game just lags 5 minutes longer on Violet. There's nothing that causes it. It's just 5 minutes slower. Explain this. Like, there's like, what is happening in this video game? Violet is just 5 minutes slower to lag, even in like the tutorial segment and like cutscenes. It was so funny when like we found it because I was losing my mind. Like I like playing because I was running Violet because it was the faster game because of the routing of the fights,
Mhm.
and I was pulling up my VOD like compared to Etiquette who was running on Scarlet. I'm like, how am I losing time? I'm taking the exact same movement lines. How am I losing time? This makes no sense. I was pulling up like the VOD side by side for like every split. I was like, I'm losing a minute in cutscenes. This makes no sense. Like, what is happening? It was like so frustrating, like trying to figure out why I was losing time. It's just Violet. It's 5 minutes slower. That's it.
There's
There's
no
no more
technical reason
explanation.
for it.
It's just 5 minutes slower. It just
Okay.
is. And like, how are you supposed to know that on release that the game is just 5 minutes slower? It's like, I think like the way that we really figured it out was when we looked at the end with the in-game timer. People running on Violet would so the in-game timer goes off of like the amount of frames that have progressed in the game or whatever.
Mhm.
So like you'd beat the game, you get like a 5 minute, 30 minute, a 5 hour, 30 minute time, and your in-game timer would be like 4:41. But then for a Scarlet runner, they'd get a 5:30, and their in-game timer would be like a 4:47. It's like, wait, why is the in-game timer 6 minutes off when it should be, or like 6 minutes more time spent in the game or whatever? It's just because Violet ran 6 minutes faster.
Mhm.
So like that was when we like actually figured it out was because we looked at the in-game timer and we're like, oh, it is just actually playing so much faster for no reason.
So if you
That
used
was really funny.
IGT, it would actually be the faster version, but because it all switched to RTA,
Right.
it's slower.
Yeah, RTA it's slower, in-game time it's faster.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And then the other funny thing, there was one more time save for Violet. So you know how like cutscene triggers, they're like a little bubble, right? And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
enter the bubble, the cutscene plays. One cutscene was I think 300 times bigger in Violet for the cutscene trigger start. Only in Violet. So you could start a cutscene through a wall and it saved 45 seconds of movement.
Oh.
So Violet was faster because of the one fight being 45 seconds faster, and then because the cutscene was like 4 times or like 50 times as large. So you could start it through a wall and that would save you 45 seconds of movement. So in our
But
heads, we're like, yeah, Violet saves a minute and a half. Too bad it's 5 minutes laggier. Which is funny now, Violet's the better version because they fixed the lag when they did the Switch 2 release.
oh, okay, good. So it all works out in the end.
So now we're running Violet. But the funny thing is they still didn't fix the data leak. So we still have to
Oh,
save and quit the game to like fix the data leak that's happening constantly.
there's a deal? Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a data leak in Scarlet Violet. If you play it for like the longer you play, the laggier the game gets.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you play it for more than like 3 hours straight, you start losing a lot of the time. So you have to save and quit the game. I think twice we save and quit to you lose a minute, but you save the time back RTA because you're not lagging,
It doesn't, like,
basically.
harm the hardware or anything,
I
right?
have no clue if it harms the
Okay.
hardware. Honestly, it might. I wouldn't
Okay.
be shocked if there's some hardware issues that come up because of it. If you leave it on for too long, maybe, but yeah, there's like some weird data
Wow.
leak that we don't really fully understand. They said they would fix it like week one, never fixed it. They're like, we are aware of the data leak, we will fix it immediately, and they literally just ignored it ever since.
So, the games really were the gift that kept on giving.
Uh huh.
Wonderful. Modern Pokemon is fascinating to me
Yeah, at least
as
VA was good
an
on
outward
release.
observer.
I'm I will purchase and play Gen 10.
Mm,
I think it's Winds and Waves when that comes out. My expectations of all new Pokemon games for main series are just in the dumpster. Like you cannot go in with any expectations to a Pokemon game.
yeah. It's funny because to me it still feels like Gen 8 is new and you're telling me Gen 10 is like coming.
Announced, yeah.
I forget how quickly they make games. It's like what new gen every like 3 or 4 years or something,
I think that's about right. Yeah.
which
Scarlet
is
Violet was
wild.
2022. I think Sword and Shield was 2019. So yeah, 3 years. And then four
Wow.
years later, Winds and Waves is coming out. I think it's this year. I don't even know the release date.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't even think I've seen what the starters look like.
Yeah, same. It
I
says
don't even,
2027.
I don't even know where it takes place. Like,
Same. Yeah.
okay, good.
I don't look at spoilers, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
like I know, the first four were different sections of Japan. Then, oh, this is U.S., this is France, this is Hawaii, this is
Yep.
what was it, UK, and then Spain.
Yeah, I think it's Spain for Paldea.
So like I know what they're, but I know nothing. The title makes me think something tropical, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll say. I'm gonna guess tropical as well. It sounds like it.
But yeah, I don't
I
know.
really like Sun and Moon. Hawaii was a really cool spot for a game.
Yeah, but it was locked to 3DS, which the 3DS is fine, but like
Yeah.
now they do like actual home console main lines instead of handheld,
Yep. Yep.
which is also kind of interesting. But I guess they don't exactly have a handheld since it's a hybrid, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Although it feels like it's running on handheld hardware half the time. So
Yeah. Well, here's you know what's really funny. Here's another one. Scarlet Violet was faster if you played in handheld. It wouldn't lag as much. So we
honestly, I
banned playing
I
on
understand
handheld.
that because of the lower resolution of the
Yeah,
handheld mode.
exactly. I think that was part of
That
it.
I totally get, but you can't like capture that as reliably, right?
Yeah. So we had to make like a not a category extension, but like a filter or whatever. It's
Hmm,
like, did you play in handheld mode?
I see.
Because like if you played in handheld mode, you would save a bunch of time.
You see, this is why I play NES games. There's no variance there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
basic as it gets when it comes to like PC. I get it because you can build in like in-game timer things to keep it
Mhm.
accurate across different hardware. Modern consoles just sound painful. Like I know even the Wii, the like running like new Super Mario Brothers Wii has variance in lag frames just
Yeah.
for like hardware reasons that make no sense.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, Legends
It's
Arceus
all it has.
crashes like pretty frequently, so that's always fun.
Oh great, yeah.
That you'll be 3 hours in and crash GG next run.
Yeah. Yeah. I could not do it. You the games you like running are like the for the reasons I despise and don't run things.
High variance.
High high variance, RNG, long,
Yeah.
uh, hardware i- issues potentially.
Mhm.
I play no RNG, 5 minute hardware is consistent across everything ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so it's just
guess,
funny.
like, well, the thing with, like, the RNG runs that I do, like, I know I know a big part of it's, like, you wouldn't wanna get into a game that you're so likely to lose to RNG, but I think it just adds a good element that, like, every run is different.
Yeah,
Um,
I get why people enjoy it. It's just not my thing.
yeah, yeah. I guess, yeah, because the way that I kind of look at it is, like, I'm looking for a run where, I don't play perfect, but I get the luck and I play good enough to capitalize on it, which I feel like is kind of similar to, like, what, like, let's say SMB1 does. You're trying to
Mm,
just, like, you're sending attempts until you, like, grind out the perfect run, and, like, the game kind of gives it to you. Even though, like, I know it's, a skill that
yeah, there's
you hit every
zero
frame perfect
RNG
trick.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah, but, like, in a way, like, it is an RNG game because, like, there's RNG variants in, like, how you are playing in a sense, right? I don't know if you'd
yeah.
agree with that
Well,
necessarily, but, like, the way I kinda see it is, like, each individual trick is an RNG check based off of your consistency. If you're 70% consistent with a trick, there's a 70% chance you hit it in your run. So, like, you're kinda doing the same thing in a way. You're grinding a run until you hit each RNG check based off of your personal consistency. The
I
difference with
yeah
Pokemon is, like, I'm grinding a run that isn't based off my consistency, it's based off of, like, pure luck.
yeah.
So,
I
like,
I
that's, I
get
guess,
the
the difference.
analogy, but where I think it falls apart is like you know anyone running the games are gonna get like different RNG, but for like me compared to a world record contender, their quote unquote RNG is going to be a lot better than mine because their
Yeah,
consistency is
because
better.
their
But
consistency is way better. Which,
so,
again, like, that's also the skill for, like, Legends Arceus is, like, even though there's so absurdly so much luck, and, like, it is maybe possible to, like, lose a race to somebody who's not as into catch 'em all as I am. Like, the skill for my run is, like, being able to adapt to the bad luck that you get. So it's like,
mm,
how do I, like, let's say I don't get the sunstone. It's like, well, how do I maximize my chances at getting it? It's like, okay, well, what if I don't get this Pokemon? Okay, what's the best way to, like, overlap getting it with doing other things that, like, provide benefit? So that, like, I guess the difference for me is, like, being able to mitigate the luck, whereas in a more traditional run like Super Mario Bros, um, it's about getting as consistent as possible and, like, kind of brute forcing it until you get the run.
mhm, yeah, I you can draw comparisons, but yeah, I just think they're still very different.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's why analogies exist in a way. But
Yeah, I will say, like, I always say with Legends Arceus, I would rather play 10 runs good rather than 1 run perfect.
mm,
Whereas I guess with, like, the games you more run, you would rather play
you
1 perfect run than a million
yes
nearly perfect runs.
yes um that is very true. If I could one and done the run I want, I'd never play it again. At least not in a PB sense, but yep,
Yeah,
that is
like,
how
I
that
would I would
works.
rather play out, like, 10 runs with, like, my gameplay than play out 1 run with, like, task input decision making.
Yeah, which is literally what world record people are doing now. They're literally doing task inputs and trying to tie
Grinding
it.
tasks.
Yeah, no, like that is they are trying to tie the task now. That is we are in that
Yeah.
reality right now. It's actually gonna happen.
How close is it now? It's, like, sub 10 frames, right?
Yep, 6 frames. Um,
6, okay, damn, yeah.
and the task has been tied to like the third room out of 5 already. But
Oh, there's like 5 rooms in 8-4. Is that what it
yeah,
is? Okay, okay.
so got beat the first two and then like missed one frame perfect in third, and that just means
In
GG.
3rd.
So
The
you
very
hit
start is
like
like the hardest part, right?
75 out of 85 or something, and then it's like, well, time to
Yeah.
reset. It's
Is
great.
I'm like vaguely familiar. There's like a fast acceleration at the start of 8-4, right? Is that like the hardest
It
trick?
used to be the hardest frame.
Used to be. Okay.
Now they've found a way to like hold the controller in a way and hit it almost like rolling.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like a small kind of rolling technique to get it to be a lot more consistent. So now the third room is the hardest one, I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
I I'm
That's the
not
one
someone
where
that
you
does
that's the
these tricks,
turnaround,
so
right?
I'm speaking for people, so take what I say with, you know, the possibility of being a little incorrect, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what the high level runners are saying now.
That's the turnaround room, right? The 3rd
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. It's the because
You have
like
to run like a certain amount past a pipe, but not too far or not enough kind of
yeah,
thing.
like
Okay.
there's a lot of subpixel manipulation going on that you don't even see.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And then what you do see is already ridiculously hard because you're doing a fast excel into an basically another fast excel into an immediate stop fast excel going the other way.
Okay. Yeah, that
And
sounds
it's
like a
not like
lot of tech.
like I can't even you need like a video explanation to truly understand why it's so stupid.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't give the credit it deserves. But
Yeah,
I
that
do know what
sounds
it
that
takes, and oh
sounds
my god.
that sounds tough and all, but one time in my distortion in Marshlands, I got Porygon and Porygon 2 and Porygon Z all at once. I know.
Hmm.
Skill
I
based game.
I don't know what that means, but cool.
I just say I got really lucky one run, which saved me a ton of time.
Okay. Um, like
Just
you
joking
need
about how
all.
we play very different games.
I see. So you need all three of them, and like it's just an
Yeah, hold
RNG
on
if you
here.
get.
Let me. This might help a little in a way. Bang, bang. So here is my list of Pokemon, basically. So this is the list of Pokemon. The Pokemon in blue you're just evolving, but the Pokemon in purple are the ones that can kill the run. So
Hmm.
once you solve all the Pokemon in purple, you have a way to finish, basically. But
Uh,
solving them is the hard part. So you can see there's like a lot of things that can kill your run, basically.
mm-hmm. And all three of them are purple.
For the Porygons, yeah. Yeah, Porygon is a distortion mon. And then the two evolutions, either you have to get them from that same distortion, which is unlikely, or you have to get them from getting the items, which is a whole other complicated process.
but you got the unlikely that one time, so it's cool.
At one time, I hit all three. It was a 91%, then a 7%, then a 1% in a row.
Oh, that's significant because that
Yeah,
automatically means it's far less than 1%.
yeah, it's like one in a couple thousand.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, you can also lose your entire run if you don't hit the 91%. You get three chances.
Mm,
Each distortion comes with three rare Pokemon, and if you don't get at least Porygon, you can't get Porygon. So it's like
yeah.
I had one run. You run in, you see the Porygon Z pop up. You're like, nice! I get Porygon Z. That's one of the rarest Pokemon in the game. And then you see a Porygon 2 pop up. You're like, that's really good, but I need a Porygon. It's 91%. And then you see like another Porygon 2 pop up, and you're like, are you serious right now?
Hmm. Whalp. See, I don't have to deal with that crap.
Yeah, you
Well,
have no soul if you don't pick an RNG hell speed run and run it at least a little bit.
don't worry, I played Mario 3.
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I remember a little bit about
You
that.
just for any percent you have a 1 in 8 to just continue playing halfway through.
Is that the hands
That's the
thing?
hands, yeah. 1 in 8
Okay, yeah.
or you reset. It's great. And it's even better if you do it warpless because then it's after like 40 minutes instead of like
Right.
3, you get there and it's like, well, guess that's over. Although warpless at a high level, which I am not, has far more RNG checks than just that. Like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get world record, you need like probably one in the hundreds at this point, as well as incredibly hard execution of multiple frame
Mhm.
perfect inputs to get clips first try, sub pixel nips, blah blah blah. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I do have my one because I've run any percent and my PB is pretty good. You cannot beat it without getting no hands. So,
Fair enough. Yeah, that's always kinda, like, my goal is, like, I wanna like, whenever I do a category, I wanna get a run that, like, I think is hard to beat, like, kinda similar. Like, I wanna do a run that someone can't just, like, luck their way into. I wanna my PB to be a run that, like, someone who, like, goes for it has to work really hard for,
mhm,
which in Legends Arceus is, like, hard because, like I mentioned, you're, like, probably sub 1% to even be able to finish a run, and then you have to play really well on that one run that is gonna finish.
mhm,
It was kind of the same with back when I ran like Gen 1 stuff. It was pretty similar. Um, I just grinding runs until I was like getting times I was happy with and I knew would be hard to beat.
mhm. Um, I mean, obviously, we didn't go into great detail on every single game because I think this would last 24 hours if we did that. But
Yeah.
is there anything I didn't uh, mention that you think would be important to go over?
Well, I can't really think of anything.
Okay.
It's always so tough. I've been around for so long. It's hard to remember
Yeah,
all the things.
I bet. Um, do you do like any like I guess more just what are your like stream content and do you do any sort of like YouTube content or have plans?
I mean, I post here and there on YouTube. I don't post all that often. Mostly just PB stuff.
Okay.
Um, And then as far as like on Twitch is concerned, I stream pretty often. Just pretty much whenever I have time, I try and stream basically.
Mhm.
Um,
Just like
Especially
traditional
with like the
speedruns and randos.
yeah, mostly traditional right now, but I do rando here and there. Uh, my goals right now is obviously I've been talking about Legends Arceus because that's
Mhm.
current. That's the thing that's most on my brain. But um, I'm trying to get sub 10 in Shiny Charm. Uh, I just I think that's like the final possible milestone in that category. I'm pretty close. I'm at 10 hours and 10 minutes now.
Mhm.
Um, and I also want to get sub 7 in Catch 'em All, but it's again, it's a pretty insane grind, just
Yeah.
the logistics of it. Um, but I have the record now in both categories. I improved Shiny Charm by 3.5 hours and have 10 more minutes to go till the final goal. And then Catch 'em All was like really solid before I started. Valkyrie is another really good runner and had a really good Catch 'em All time when I started. I've only improved that by like 15 minutes.
Mhm. That actually reminds me, I forgot to ask at any point like your what world records have you held over the years?
Oh yeah, that uh pretty much every Gen 1 and 2 record at one point, except
Mhm.
for like glitchless and gold. I don't think I ever held a glitchless gold or crystal record.
You've had glitchless
Um
red, blue?
I think by technicality I did, yeah.
Okay.
At one point we
I actually
banned
recently.
emulators, and a bunch of us
Mhm.
had like a tied world record or something. Because like I did a few console runs way back, and I think it by
Oh,
default when emulators got banned became like a tied world record.
was this
This
when it
is
was
also when we did
IGT?
in-game
Yeah,
time.
okay.
Yeah,
I
so
was gonna say.
we had like a 6-way tie or something.
Okay. I see, I see.
Um, so I think by technicality I had the glitchless record. I never really like grinded it very hardcore. Uh, but all the glitch categories I've held at certain points. Nothing in Gen 4, nothing in Gen 5. I may have had like the XY record at one point. Um, like nearest to release. Um, I had the BDSP record a couple times, both categories. I held Scarlet Violet for a while for glitchless, or I guess glitchless is the only category that really matters.
Hmm.
Um, and then I've never held the record in any percent in Legends Arceus, but I've had every other record in the game. ZA, I had the record for a bit, and I have like a lot of the all obtainable Pokemon records. So like I still have the red blue all obtainable record. Uh, I have it for ZA. I have it for Scarlet Violet. That's like my main like category I like is the catching categories because again they have the kind of like routing on the fly stuff. So I mostly run those over the years.
Got it.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
So a lot.
Yeah. I think I've held a few Halo IL records like way back. Like
Mm.
I don't know like if any of them were like the world record at the time. It wasn't as like known back then, but I remember like at least being top 3 in a few of the ILs. So, at least a little bit back then. I think that's it for me for the record side of things.
Well, that's plenty. Um, yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're wrapping up here. I mean, it's only been 3 hours, so
Yeah, definitely grabbing food here pretty soon.
yeah, makes sense. Let's see. How about if people want like more information on more technical details, where to best places to look for?
Yeah, like on some of the games I've ran.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Speedrunner.com has links to like all the discords. I'm pretty sure. You can always join the discords and ask. So like, uh, for example, if you want to do, I don't know, Fire Red Round 2 is popular right now. You can just go to the Fire Red page on speedrunner.com. They'll have a link to the Gen 1 through 3 Discord, and then you can ask anybody in there like anything you need about like categories. Um, I always just say like pick a game you like. If you're gonna run a Pokemon game, like pick one that you're willing to spend some time in. Uh, Plenty of options when it comes to Pokemon games. There's so many. Um, and then you'll find community as well. Like there's plenty of people running these games. There's always gonna be someone who's excited to see someone else picking up a game they like as well.
Hmm.
I know I'm mostly nowadays I'm a Switch runner, but I'm still in the early gens as well here and there.
You've done your time.
Yeah. Well, there's no competition. Like no one else is running like AOP. So if someone ever beats my time, I'm going right back. You know what I mean?
Mm,
That's my
yeah.
category. Maybe
Yeah.
someday.
All right. Well, I guess the last thing is just what are your plans for the future in terms of content and where to watch as I
Ooh,
click this
okay.
button?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right now I kind of already mentioned I'm just going for. I would say like I want to kill the 2 categories in Legends Arceus. I want to make them unimprovable. So I just need to get that sub 7, catch them all, and that sub 10 in Shiny Charm. Who knows how long it'll take? Pretty much anytime I have free time, it's like send a run, give one attempt. Um, if ever makes it far, I'll be tired tomorrow, kind of deal. um, After that, I want to do the full Switch AOP, which is where you play every single Switch game. This is like a little bit interesting, but uh, basically the fastest you can possibly catch all the Pokemon on Switch is 11 days plus a any percent run of BDSP because you're hardwalled by cast form, which takes exactly 12 in-game days to catch. So I think it'd be a really interesting challenge to try and catch all the Switch Pokemon in exactly quote unquote 12 days.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's something I'm planning at some eventual point. I mean, other than that, just kind of doing my thing with either randos here and there or like some meme categories for Pokemon. I guess those are kind of the 3 things on my like brain right now is the full Switch catch 'em all, and then the two PLA categories.
And then if there's ever a Pokemon GDQ run in the future, there's a 50% chance you're involved in some way.
Yeah, I guess so. Depends on the game. We'll
Yeah.
see. I have no clue honestly what's gonna be at the next GDQ. Sometimes like we kind of know what game's coming up. Like I think it was pretty obvious Fire Red was gonna make it this time.
Mm.
Um, Honestly, no clue what's gonna be next GDQ. Very curious what ends up popping up.
Now, I'm assuming the next game won't be out yet, but I know
No,
that's
it's
a that.
2027. So,
Oh, okay. That's a shoe in for whenever it is new.
you say that.
Oh, come on. You saw how
some,
broken
some,
Scarlet Violet was. That's funny.
it depends. Like, well, BDSP was the broken one, but that didn't even get
Yeah.
in until like 4 years later.
No, did it not?
Um,
Wow.
no, it took
That's
like a couple
shocking.
years before Etiquette got it in.
Hmm. I genuinely wasn't aware. I thought that'd be like day one kind of stuff, especially with how
Same,
quickly it was
honestly.
broken.
Yeah, we submitted it a bunch of times. It just never got in
Well,
till
I
like a
guess it's
couple
bound to
years
happen.
later. Yeah. Um, but yeah, who knows? I am curious to see like what the big marathons are taking for the next couple events. It won't be ZA, I'll tell you that much. That game's pretty garbage
Hmm.
for marathon setting. What's your estimate? Anywhere between 6 hours and 7.5, actually.
Well, I mean, they used to do games about that long. They're
Well, it's more about the
RPGs.
variance is the
Yeah, the
problem.
variant. Well, yeah, but
That's the problem with like Legends Arceus. It's like if I want to submit Catch 'em All, it's like if I do 10 runs, my best will be a 7:30, and my worst will be like a 9:35.
yeah, yeah.
Could be anywhere in there.
But I don't really see them do anything over 4 hours anymore anyway.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate for the longer categories because
Yeah.
I think they're interesting, but
Luckily, that's what really, really long a thon's for.
true. And I think T-Pat is running ZA AOP in that, which is a really
There
cool
you go.
category.
Yeah, so
Or I think it's ZA any percent, and it could be upgraded to AOP if like donations get met or something.
nice. Yeah, that marathon's perfect for the longer stuff that can't really realistically get into those
Mhm.
events, and they do really well too. So that's nice.
Yeah, maybe I should start submitting to those because I only run long categories. That's why I don't submit anything to GDQ anymore. I don't run
Yeah,
anything fast enough.
yeah. I mean, longathon does get pretty good viewership, like in the hundreds. Which,
Yeah, it's not
given,
really about the viewership.
well, I know, but I mean, yeah, I mean, fair. I'm just saying, like, for what it is, it does incredibly well, which is
Right, I see what
really
you're saying
cool.
though.
Is my point, but
Yeah, yeah. I I want more people to see like the cool catching categories and be like, yeah, I'm interested in that. I'm trying to get more people to run these games, but it's hard because
yeah.
I'm not helping when I'm going for world record and you're just seeing me reset to a coin flip 4 hours in over and over every other day.
And then have to watch the 30 minutes of the same thing.
It's like 20. It's like 20-ish. It's
It's
not
so
it's
much
not
better.
it is. It is you're saving
All
10 minutes every time.
right, all right, all right.
Here's the good thing. If you're not going for world record and you're just trying to run these kind of categories, you don't have to reset.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like
fair.
you just play out the run. I mean, I guess like if you really think about it, if I watch like a SM64 stream, they're probably just grinding and like they never finish runs. You
Yeah.
know? Very
Yeah, you see
similar.
the intro a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Lots of intro there. I'm not sure about like, some of those other games. Like what's popular, like Minecraft. Big
Oh, well,
Minecraft's
that
popular.
one's
Those guys reset for seeds all day. That's all they do.
yeah, they have like 9 different instances of the game open
That's
randomly
what I should do. I
trying to
should open
find.
up 10 instances at the intro and just take
Hmm,
whichever one's the best. So smart. We don't allow that, but maybe I can entice
yeah.
the moderators on that.
Good luck getting that set up. 9
True.
switches all through one source.
Hey, I did that for Pokemon Blue way back.
Mm.
I would run 4 instances on emulator
Hmm.
and take whichever one had the best starter. Because
So,
I mean, it was like 1 in 196 to get a runnable Squirtle, so
mm.
it's either 5 hours average if you're not doing what I was doing, or like 1 hour if you were doing what I was doing.
Well, if they didn't ban you, it must have been okay. So
Yeah, never got banned.
there you go.
Run got submitted.
Optimization. Anyway, um, I guess that's everything.
Sweet.
I think so. No, I'm not missing anything important, right? You would know better than me.
I hope not. I feel like the problem with me is, like, once I get started about, like, a game I run, I'll probably talk forever about, like, just that one game until someone says, "No, we need a new topic."
Yeah, that's fair. Um, well, I let's see. I got the socials on stream. They'll be in the description. So
Sweet.
yeah, and yeah, I I did the finale question. So I think all is good. We could be done
Nice, nice,
after
okay.
3.5 hours. Phew. All right. Well, I won't keep y'all. So thanks for watching. Click the links. You know the drill. And yeah, that'll be all. So I guess goodbye.
Yeah, see you later. Thanks for talking.
Yep. See ya.